do believe in repenting? What if the kingdom of heaven's within you? Do you think you would enter, huh? What do you know, huh? How do you know truth from the pit of your soul, or just cause somebody told you? Do you think about what you think about? Do you see yourself in the people that you hang around? Keep quiet, let me think aloud. Listen up, wanna break it down and question your perceptions. I'ma break it down and question your perceptions. Do you ever question your perceptions? Do you ever question it all? Yeah. What if your money was worthless? Then would you know what your worth is and reconsider living with a purpose? How would you determine what work is? Are you seeking what's easy to purchase, or is it deeper than what's on the surface? Do you question your perceptions? Ever so is real, huh? It ain't your politicians, nor your status. All of that is fiction, so it's real, huh? It ain't your entertainment, nor the industry. I heard it's filled with fake shit. And I need truth over everything. Yeah. I need truth above all else. Just I need truth over everything. Yeah, give me the truth, give me the truth, give me the truth, yeah.
Sick, dude.
What's up, Noah?
Dude? It's Noah.
Yeah, dude, when I was prepping this, I was trying to remember how I found your account, and like I honestly don't even remember. I just know that I was interested in like the whole 47 phenomena. I mean, obviously this is the balancing act, and like 47 is like the heart chakra, the crown chakra, and just that dance, that dynamic between the two.
Yeah, it's interesting how people find my page. Like, people found it through Gematria. People found it through capital Steez. People found it through me just talking about taboo stuff on Instagram. Like, I'll leave a comment on like a poppin' ass page, and it'll get me like 100 followers. You know what I mean? So stuff that I just say on Instagram gets people like, oh, this guy's talking about some cool shit. So, and I see you do the same. You got some cool shit to talk about. I was watching podcasts before this. You had me thinking for sure, dude.
That's what's up. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel underrated, but then there's the balance of like, I kind of appreciate having a smaller community or a smaller amount of listeners, because then I can like create a stronger bond, you know, like quality over quantity sort of thing. But then at the same time, like I'm lying if I say I don't want to see myself grow in that, you know, in that space as well. But
yeah, same with my shit. Like I like having like a small group of people that are like-minded. We get to talk about shit and they understand me. I don't got to explain a lot. You know what I mean? We're just kind of on the same wavelength. But at the same time, I like talking to people that like aren't on the same wavelength, and you kind of open them up to shit. You know what I mean?
And they can open you up too, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
if you're
they'll tell me some shit that I was blind to for my whole life. So yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into the 47 phenomena?
Yo, so like part of what I'd like to share is my connection with my uncle, who was into 47 before even capital Steez. He was into it not because of Steez or any of that shit. He was just into it because he got into Gematria at the age of 47, which it sounds like I'm making that shit up, but you could ask any of my family members. He literally at the age of 47, while living in Guerrero, Mexico, from what he says, he had a spiritual awakening that put him on to numerology, gematria, and all these ways of like, you know, taboo, esoteric thinking. And he was 47 when that happened. And he was the first person born on my mom's side of the family out of 14 aunts and uncles. So my grandparents had 14 kids, which is pretty fucking crazy. Like a lot of people can't even have one kid, 2, 3, 4 kids. They had 14. But their firstborn, Uncle Teddy, he was born in 1947. And he, like I said, he became aware of this connection with numbers at the age of 47 while living in Mexico. And he started writing books about gematria back in the 90s. And a lot of people, like, there was no internet to look that shit up. You know what I mean? There wasn't books about that stuff. Like even Zach Hubbard's book about gematria, that wasn't out. I don't even know if he was into that research at that point. So, like, my uncle was really onto it at an early age, and I was young when he would talk about the shit. And, you know, I was too young to fully grasp it or understand it, so I kind of brushed it all off like a lot of the family members did, you feel me? because it's weird to talk about certain shit like that. Like, oh no, I don't want to talk about that shit. You feel me? So a lot of people brush it off. But what got me like, so that's kind of what got me in the 47. The number shit was my uncle. Like I said, he was on that shit for a minute. But for me, it was like sophomore year of high school. So 2000 and like 10, 11, I started listening to. I was just listening to all types of rap music, and I would search YouTube for rap music and just trying to find like underground artists, not that mainstream shit. Just trying to find unique stuff. And I stumbled across Joey Badass, Capital Steez, Survival Tactics. That was the first track that caught my attention. And I was like, damn, yo, who's this Steez guy? And then I looked into him more, and I listened to his music more, and I seen him talking about 47. And I was like, all right, we're from the same state. We got the same
New York, right?
mentality on things. So I was like, I'm gonna start looking into this 47 shit, and I kept an eye out for number 47, and just trying to get into that thinking of like, all right, there's more to life than just what we're told and what we're learning through school. Because like I said, I was a sophomore. A lot of people in my grade, my friend group and shit, they weren't into that stuff. And I started seeing it show up in like mad weird ways. And I would bring it up to my uncle, the one I'm talking about, Uncle Teddy, and he lit up like a candle, dude. Because like all my aunts and uncles, all my cousins, they would all be like, "You're crazy, bro. We ain't got no time to hear that shit." And I would talk to him about it, and he would be so hyped. He'd be like, "Yo, he fucking gets it. He understands what I'm talking about." And we would. He passed away sadly due to cancer. He got some melanoma, and that shit took him out. But up until his deathbed, we just talked about that shit all the time. Numbers, particularly 47. Like it is really crazy. Like how I got into it, and he was already into it, and I started sharing it with him, and just things aligned. You know, like I'm sure you're aware of the word synchronicities, or you know what I mean. Some people call it
For
glitches
sure.
in the matrix, even possibly type shit like that. And we would just drive around and talk about that shit. And like I wish I got into it at an earlier age when he was talking about it back in the day. But I was too young. You know, I'm only 28. When he was into that shit, I was like 10 years old, maybe 9. And I couldn't grasp it. And like all my family members, they kind of were like, "Oh, don't listen to that. That's that crazy talk, whatever."
Right.
But it was connecting with Steez's music and Joey and Pro Era, Underachievers. It just like resonated with me a little more because I liked their music. I liked how they portrayed it and how they were like talking about shit. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna look into it more now. And when I started looking into it, I'm like, all right, my uncle ain't crazy. Like he's been on this shit since the '90s. And yo, I wish he was here because I'll get him on the Zoom call. He'd break it down even better than I could articulate it. You know what I'm saying?
But man, just a few kind of, I guess, mild synchronicities there. Like the only member of my mom's side of the family that is like spiritual at all. He was like a huge alcoholic, and he actually like had his breakdown or whatever when he went to AA and like turned his life around. That happened when he was 47. And I never even thought about that until just now when you were talking about your uncle Teddy. No real 47 like fascination or anything like that, but he's like the only like deep thinker like that in my family. So that's
but he like
cool
changed his life around when he was 47.
Yep.
Yep. No, my uncle was great. Like he really was into some shit that the rest of the family wasn't into. Like, so when he brought that stuff up, a lot of them were like, "Nah, that shit's like." I don't even want to throw the word schizophrenic, but they'd be like, "That shit's like," you know what I mean? They brush it all off. And then when I got into Steez and 47 and stuff, and I brought it up to him, it all connected and aligned so perfectly. Like, I wish I had him here, man. We would talk about it so deeply. He was a really cool cat. Yeah,
I'm a huge Ab Soul fan, and he fucks
Same.
with Pro Era and Joey Badass and Steez. He says 4-7 shit, fuck it on that Raw song. So like for me, it's hard
I have so much I could share about 47. Like it literally has changed my life for the better. And I know it's like, oh, it's just a number, but like the way I've articulated it and like shared it with people, it's led to so many like connections and friendships and conversations and stuff. It's like,
Well, a
so like,
couple
yeah,
of the
you,
fascinating ones for me is like the Freemason compass. That's 47 degrees, right?
right. I was going
And
to get into
then,
that connection too, because they have some obsession with it too, not just the random folk
right,
like me and you. They have some weird occultic
right.
relationship with it, which you could probably say the Steez 47 is occultic, but it's like, nah, it's different. Like it's spiritual, it's
Well,
having fun.
there's a positive and negative to any tool, right?
Right, right.
Um, So, but yeah, so and the other one that always fascinated me was like growing up, I never understood why, and now I don't. Now I'm like, I don't know if we're on a globe or a fucking flat Earth, or
Right.
I don't fucking know. But regardless, they tell us that it's like the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. It's 23 and a half degrees, and I always was like, why is 20 like that makes no like it's such a random fucking number. Well, now
Right.
that I'm into 47, it's like, oh, it's literally
Dude,
47 between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn.
dude, I've tried to tell people like, yo, pick another number and tell me if that number shows up more than 47. And like, dude, I swear to God, most of the people I've done that experiment with, they'll come back and be like, bro, 47's not only showing up more, that shit's showing up in mad like weird ways, like unique, like personal, spiritual, unique ways where it's not just like,
Mhm.
oh, like 47 cents in your change. Like that shit's weird sometimes. But like other ones, like I have a whole phone list I could break down. I'll go
It
straight
feels
on,
like when you think about it, it happens even more too. Like the more that it's on
right,
your
yeah.
mind, the more that it happens.
Well, that's
Yeah,
that like law of attraction type shit, right?
right.
So it's like you think of it and you really put your energy and time and mind to it. Of course, you might start seeing that stuff more. But nah, dude, like I could literally keep my mind away from 47 and it's gonna fucking smack me in the face in the weirdest fucking way. Just like today, bro.
That's
I
because
pulled
you're
up.
already attuned to it, though,
True, true. Because another person would be like, well, you know,
or they might not even notice. Like they
might
might
not
see it
notice.
and like not even it's not a thing, you know.
It's not even a fucking thing on their mind. I've gotten so many like including my aunts and uncles that all brushed my uncle Teddy off for mad long. I got them back onto it, and they're like, "Yo, Teddy was on. He would know." They were like, "Yo, I see what he was talking about
Teddy
right
was
here."
the goat.
Yeah, he was the goat. He was at that shit for a minute, bro. No, I wish he was here, dude. That fucking he lived in Mexico for a while. I don't know what his fascination with Mexico was. He just loved going there. He had a family there. Um, he like adopted a family down there. He's very like generous, nice, caring person. But our skin, I have a lot of Irish in me, or that side of the family does, and that skin tone does not fare well with the sun. We get
Mhm.
these moles that pop up. We get some fucking, you know what I mean? And he got
Yeah,
melanoma, and that shit
uh,
literally it killed him. Yeah, so
yeah, yeah. My
but
dad
that's life.
had the
And
same
yo,
thing.
and
Yep.
I know I might be rambling. I'm talking a
No,
lot. You probably got some questions,
no, you're
but
good.
when he was on his deathbed, in relation to the 47 stuff and gematria and numbers, I remember looking at him and he was passing away, and he's like, I know you're trying. Like he knew I had interest in that shit. So he's like, you're gonna carry it on. And I've always kind of cared to that in my heart, because it's like he wanted to keep writing these books and sharing this knowledge, but he fucking croaked. Fucking shit took him out. And so I kind of feel like I got the baton, like I kind of got to carry it type shit, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
My mom's dad was born on April 7th. I never really got to know him. He passed away when I was like 7, but now that I'm into this, I always
Four
think about
seven.
him. Yeah. And then I was born on Steez's birthday. He was born on my birthday actually. I
Oh,
was born in
word.
89.
So 7-7, right?
Yeah.
That's the day in the calendar, and I don't know if it changes year to year, but I'm pretty sure it stays the same. Is that's the day that leaves 177 days in the year. So 7-7, and the day that leaves 177 days, and it's kind of like weird how shit like that even lines up. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Right.
Um so growing up, you grew up in New York? Been there
Yeah.
your whole life?
Yep. I'm a middle child. I got an older brother. I got a younger brother. And another thing I'd like to share is, a big thing that got me into thinking how I am and being who I am is having that older brother. Do you have some siblings or?
Only child, but I grew up in a small town, so like my neighbor was kind of like my brother growing up, and then I had a cousin that was kind of like an older brother growing up.
Right.
Um, I had a lot of people around me for an only child, for sure.
You're right, yeah, because I got some only child friends, and when we're chilling talking about shit, I can tell like they're like, "Fuck, you got the brother to look to," or like whatever type shit. So
Hmm.
yeah, my older brother was definitely instrumental and big with getting into just having like an open mind, being creative. Dude, like this ain't even really with the 40s. I could get it connected to the 47 shit, but 9/11, bro, being from New York and having that event occur in our state, it was crazy. Like I even remember the day it happened, like picking my brother up from school. My parents thought the world were attacked by terrorists, which whatever the fuck happened. But my brother started sharing a lot of stuff about that event with me, and that was like opened my mind at such a young age. And I was like, all right, if that's what's going on, what else is going on? So then you start looking into other shit, and then you start expanding your mind in other ways. And sometimes it could be negative, but that's just life. You got to kind of balance out the highs and the lows type shit.
Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Were you raised religious at all? Like, did you go to church growing up?
Yeah, but I got really chill parents that weren't too strict about it. Like they definitely
Mm,
followed it because the rest of the family and the friends did type shit.
mm, mm.
It's almost like the whole society thing. Like people like will see something and they're like, "Well, if everyone's doing it, I kind of got to do it too." Like, 'cause if I
Yeah,
ain't fucking if I ain't fucking
yeah.
doing it, I'm a fucking
Herd
scumbag or
mentality.
whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of that vibe. Like they weren't like, "Yo, you got to do it because if you don't, you're going to hell." It was more so to like just follow that trend. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you feel like you picked up on like a code of like a moral code or like a code of ethics from going to church, or was that more just instilled by the way that your parents were? Or like how did what shaped your worldview as a kid? And then it sounds like you had a pretty open-minded family to begin with, so it sounds like you didn't have like a harsh transition or like any sort of like crazy event happen that like flipped your world upside down. But what was the transition like from like whatever your worldview was as it developed as a child or adolescent slash high school or 18, 20-year old to where you're at, 8 years later? You're still relatively young, but I would say at 20, even at 27, I was much, much more mature than I was at 21. Those are
Right.
crucial years.
Good question. I like your long phrased questions. I was watching some interviews and podcasts, and one of your friends or people you're interviewing, they're like, "That's a long question. I don't even know how to answer that type shit." So I understand, but I appreciate that because it's detailed and it's cool. Um, well, my parents were very cool with how like I got into marijuana at an early age. You feel me? And they weren't strict about that, so that opened my
Right.
mind too. That's a big part, and that was one of the topics I wanted to bring up to you tonight
No,
too. Was
I've
my
got it on my list.
was it okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
fair enough. I got some
I
hash.
grow. I grow as well. Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
see.
what I
Yeah, you had
do.
a nice. Yeah, I love cultivating it. Like that's a big part of my life was opening my mind with cannabis. It led to so many unique thoughts, experiences, friendships, and my parents weren't strict about it, so that was chill. Like my other friends would be like, put on some, fucking. They're like I fucked because of it, like type shit. Like it would be like you're doing heroin type, but you're not. You're smoking a
Yeah,
plant that
yeah,
doesn't cause the harm that many people think it would cause.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a big part of my upbringing. Having my older brother too, yeah, like I said, that was a big like he would put me on the game with so much shit. Like you don't have that relation, I guess, so it's hard to relate. But like just
Nah,
every day there'd be some new shit.
my neighbor was really like that. We still, I mean, we don't talk to each other nearly that much, but whenever we do, it's like the last time I saw him was when he got married, which has been like 3 years ago now. But that's my boy.
Cool, you
Like
stay connected with him, man.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And he's always been one of my big brothers. I met being an only child is interesting, especially being an only child like me, where I'm just like very like I love everybody, and even the people that end up like trying to use me or like take advantage of my kindness, like I
Right.
still like I see them as kind of like I feel sorry for them. Like you don't see
Right.
the world
You screwed
properly.
over a good person that would be in your
Not
life
e- not e-
sometime.
you know, not just that, but just like the truth is we are all one. So at the end of the day, they're fucking themselves if they fuck anybody, whether it's me or anybody else. Like we're supposed to be working together for like humanity's purpose and like humanity's betterment, you know, and like we're all mirrors, man. It's smoke and mirrors. Like this is a
Right.
game that our spirits have put into us to like teach each other how to love, you know. And so people who are haters, it's like
True.
I just kind of laugh at them and like I do my best to love them anyway. Like sometimes I gotta admit, like I'm flawed, like I guess anybody else, but I guess some people
Yeah.
are better at it and worse at it. But like sometimes, obviously, I take shit personally or get frustrated or whatever. But I do
Same,
my
yo.
best not
That's
to.
human nature, man. I
Yeah.
try to like fight over human nature, like tendencies and like bad habits and shit. Like that's what like fucks me up is bad habits. Like I try to get past even smoking too much weed. Like I've overindulged in cannabis. It's brought so many positives, but it's also been like kind of like a crutch. And I don't fuck with all the presidents, but JFK had a good quote. He's like pretty much long story short, he was like, why do we need a crutch? Like, if you don't mentally or physically need it to survive, like, can't we see a society with no tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, or any of that shit? And I kind of agree with that. But at the same time, like I was just telling you, marijuana has been so instrumental in my life. So it's hard to like,
Cannabis is can't so
right.
so
It's hard
so
to
my
fight.
argument there is we have an endocannabinoid system in our body. Like we are
Right.
literally made to receive this plant. This
And the
plant
plant's beautiful too. Like
pinnacle to alcohol or coffee even, which I
hops,
love
all that
coffee,
bullshit.
but yeah, but exactly. This is the top
Dude,
dog. This is the queen bee of the plant kingdom. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like
nothing can
respect
smell
her.
like marijuana, taste like it, produce there's so many properties to it, and I do strongly believe, and I'm behind it, I do think it helps with not only preventing possible cancer or curing it, but at least if at the bare minimum alleviating the stress and pain and negative symptoms from cancer or chemotherapy. But like say like you really were on a healthy diet, drinking a lot of good proper drinks, exercising, and you indulge in a little cannabis, you could I feel like you would prevent like health issues. Like I swear it prevents like diabetes or like other types of shit, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta go about it properly. You can't just smoke a backwood.
So, but I don't know. I'm on the at least when it comes to cannabis, maybe not all drugs. Even then, I think I'm on the liberal end of things. But when it comes to cannabis, man, I just you said you overindulge. Like, man, if there's anything that you can overindulge in, like, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're gonna eat some unhealthy snacks. It looks beautiful, man, beautiful. Yeah, you've posted some beautiful buds on your
Yeah.
Discord.
Thank
Um,
you. I appreciate you checking that shit out. It's just fire.
and you grow outdoors, which I love, man. That's I
It's
appreciate it.
hard.
I
You
think the future it's harder to get the pests out. It
mhm.
takes a lot more care. The plants take and
So much risk and
you grew a
you
like
get mold, you get you
yeah,
get
the mold, you get a lot
powdered
of
mildew pops up and shit, which I've dealt
mhm.
with, and that shit sucks. I try to go about
That's
it
why
just by
greenhouse is the future, man, because you get all the
right.
benefits of indoor with the sunshine, which is the
Yeah,
key
yeah.
element
You
that indoor
right,
is
you get
missing.
the controlled environment, but you can still get the vibrancy of the outdoor.
Yeah, there is no. I don't care if you have the most expensive lighting, high tech, cutting edge, military
It's
grade
gonna taste like the
lights.
rest of the shit on the
It
market.
is not as good as the
As sun
sunshine.
grown,
The
yo, facts. I
sunshine is
yeah,
yeah,
bro, you can just get such a more a vibrancy. And I've had outdoor dude.
genuine photosynthesis, the
I've
true
had
food for the
so I
plant.
love making hash, and I've
Yeah.
always been into that, and that's what I've put a lot of friends onto and family was making hash and just being over experienced and knowledge with cannabis and its products and all that type of shit. And I would press outdoor bud. You get such a bigger yield with pressing outdoor. Where you press the indoor, sometimes you have the prettiest of flower on the market. And I've done this. I've tested it. Dispensary weed, my indoor, my buddy's indoor. the outdoor makes such a bigger yield. And the indoor can make quality rosin, but that outdoor is just on another level. I swear to God, so good.
Yeah. And as somebody that I like, it sounds like bragging, but just on a factual level, I feel like I'm like kind of attuned to that like more subtle nature of reality, the shamanic dimension of reality. And to
Oh shit, I got
me,
a question after you say this. Yeah.
so to me, the outdoor, even if that THC came back testing at like 11%, it's going to have like a more full bodied, like spiritual effect than some indoor that's like 25%.
Right, and
Real
it's grown
talk.
with the
It might
same.
smack you in the face, but it's like, it's just different. It's hard to
Yeah.
explain, but
No, and they
it's
all have
just,
their positives. Like, I think if you're really crushing it, you're growing indoor, you're growing greenhouse, and you're growing outdoor. You got all three, and maybe you're doing like a fourth. There might be a fourth. I don't know. But you're doing all of those, and you're getting the benefits from all three of them. But you're right, that outdoors got such a funk, such a like vibrancy. It's more psychedelic or something. I don't even know. It's fire. I'm
so, I
smoking
mean,
indoor, and I feel like I'm smoking hay or something.
yeah, so I'm pro cannabis 100%, but as a like connoisseur and maybe like a little bit of a bougie like cannabis type of person, if it was like totally my choice, I would limit an outdoor, like, to me the plants love attention, man. And so like to me you can only grow, I mean, if you have help, it's a totally different thing. But for as one person that already works a 9 to 5 and only has a limited amount of time to tend to the garden, I can
Right,
only grow about 10 plants and give them the attention that they deserve to have like a real relationship with the plant, you know? And
right.
like I talk to my plants. I'm like one of those
Oh, dude,
motherfuckers, you know?
I ate like an eighth of shrooms, maybe 4 Gs. I probably want to say it was more like 4.7. And I was out in my garden. Them things were breathing. They were talking to
Yes,
me.
they're
I got
alive.
connected with it. And I almost, what hit me hard was all the bad things I wasn't doing properly in my garden. I almost wanted to cry. I was like, I was like, that don't look good. I was like, that needs to do
Yeah.
better. I was like, I need to fix that.
Do you do like low stress technique or topping or
I
like
do top, but I've actually been learning sometimes that some stuff don't like to get topped. It like stresses it out, or you don't top it properly, or whatever. That can be you pluck it wrong or whatever. But yeah, sometimes I top because then you get more of a bush. You can kind
mhm,
of top in and get bigger yields or whatever. But
mhm.
sometimes I just literally I make my soil as good as I can. I put that seed in the soil. I water it with my water, and I don't touch that shit, and it just goes. And it's just like kind of the most natural effect you get. I don't give it no Fox Farm. I don't buy no nutrients. I'll feed
Yeah.
like my scraps, like banana peels,
Right,
apple,
right, right.
and that shit kind of breaks
Compost.
down. And it
Yeah,
does
yeah.
help. I swear to God, like it might not help right away, but you give it a couple weeks to a month, that shit breaks down into your soil, and it
Yeah, no doubt.
it adds a vibrancy.
I do
Yeah,
like the low stress technique. I think one, you're like playing with it, so it enjoys the attention of playing with it a little bit. And then also, it's called low stress technique for a reason. Like you don't want to give it so much stress that it's like hurting the plant, but you want to like kind of push it along to be stronger. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And so just like bending them in certain ways, and it's also, so you're bending it, so that's the low stress, but then there is the positive side of it. The way that you bend it, you can kind of bend it in certain ways so that it's getting maximum light, from depending on what angle the sun's coming at.
True.
Um,
That's big because I've had plants that same strain, same soil, same water, different light cycle, not grown as good. So
mhm. And when it
it's a
comes to
lot.
topping, I agree with you that some strains are more open to getting, chopped than
Right? Yeah,
others. But
getting harassed pretty much. Right?
yeah, but I would say I do try to push the plant to its limit on that, and it will get stronger over the course of its 6 to, 8, 9 month life cycle as you do it more. Um,
Nice. I'm still
so
learning
all
with it
of
too. Like I feel like I know a lot because I've grown up with it, and like my older brother and shit, he put me on the game with mad shit with the cannabis stuff too. Like being around him, like you kind
yeah,
of
you
grow up a
definitely know
little
what you're
quicker.
doing because I've seen your
Yeah.
product and it looks
No,
great.
I have like such a passion for it. I have such an eye for it. that like people will be like, yo, you want to come help me out with this shit? Like random friends, farms I've worked for a few farms, and they're just like always like Noah's killing it, because like I just really do care for things. And same with the 47 stuff. Like I don't like to like get into something if I don't like it necessarily, because I do feel like all right, you got potentially 60 years on this planet, 70, 80, 90 if you're lucky, maybe 100 if you're eating well, drinking well, living right. But if like fucking 40% of the time is spent trying to live, like get money, live a life and do shit, the rest of it's like, damn, you gotta have a passion type shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Yeah.
do feel that with you, like you definitely have a passion for things. You have a passion for what we're doing right now. You have a passion for growing and all that shit. It's like
That's
that's
my
big.
job too. I manage a dispensary,
Major,
which,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I would like to
I
see,
respect the dispensaries. I think there's a lot of people that they get they move to a new area and they ain't got a plug. They can't grow, you know. So like I
right.
gotta hit the dispensary, and like, and it's not like they need their marijuana, but at the same time they want it like it's a drink or a cigarette. So if they
Yeah,
can't get it,
it's better than it, being illegal and unavailable, but
right,
yeah,
right.
the dispensary game is, it's extortion in my opinion. And
Yeah,
when
I don't get it all. Trust me, I'm
yeah,
still very like as much as I do know shit, bro. I like to admit I don't know shit too. Like saying with the 47 phenomenon is what I like to call it.
yeah.
As much as I know it, like I like to admit I don't know shit, because I part of it is kind of the mystery of not knowing. Like I like the idea that I don't know why it's happening type shit. Like is it God? Is it a glitch in this so-called simulation matrix? Like, or is it like actually some sign from like a higher being, like
You're
possibly
talking
my
about some stuff that I want to get into, but I want to finish up with the cannabis before we move
yeah,
on
my
to that.
bad, yeah.
Have you ever heard of plant chiropractic?
Can't say I have, no.
So you can actually do chiropractic on this
Wow, okay.
cannabis,
Oh
and they
well,
love it.
I seem like when my buddy's plants get too close to the light sometimes, he'll bend them a certain way to like grow up at a different angle. Cause
Mhm.
like if you let it keep growing straight up, it's gonna hit the light
Get
too much.
blocked. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not gonna get enough light.
And
Yeah, so
yeah,
that's
so he'll
that's part
bend
of
them.
the idea, but as people started doing it more, they realized it actually strengthens the plant too, and that it frees up energy to get more energy to the colas, so the buds end up being like thicker.
I'm just showing art while
Nice.
I'm talking.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, no, so yeah, just do a YouTube search on like cannabis chiropractic or plant chiropractic for cannabis. Um, I think you would enjoy that for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
share that in the Discord. I feel like it probably works for all plants potentially, right?
Yeah, potentially. I've only done it on cannabis, but yeah, that's the whole idea is number one, you're bending it in such a way so that it's going to get more light, but also if you actually do like a kind of massage from where the
Whoa.
stem breaks off from the main stem and kind of feel your way up, you can kind of feel where the energy gets knotted and you just kind
Yo,
of
dude,
like
I've
manipulate that
thought of that
area
shit.
and it pops. You can like you'll hear a small pop, almost like a really less loud version of a chiropractic adjustment.
Like, dude, I bet like my posture might be mids right now. I'd probably get my back cracked just like that. The plant needs it, and I've had plants where I'm working. Like, I swear to God, I know what you're talking about, and it goes back to the eating shrooms in the garden too. Like, you really sense some shit with the plants. So
Yeah.
you're like, yo, this plant's hurting right now.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. They're
You feel its
alive.
fucking pain and shit.
Yep, they're alive, no doubt. It's no
Right?
doubt in my mind.
No,
That was actually no,
they're
go ahead.
they're thinking in a sense that's like it's not like how we be thinking. They're just like trying to survive. Like they're just doing what they gotta do, and whether that comes off as conscious, who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I disagree with that. I think there's definitely a spirit to them.
Okay,
I think
fire.
they're more intelligent than us, for real. Like,
Wow.
you ever seen that meme that's like, we think we're like raising the plants and like have dominion over the earth, but really they're raising us because we're gonna die and they're gonna eat us, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Same with like if you're a cat owner. your cat's really you're like right,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Like
That fucker's
we
smart.
think we have like dominion over animal, like the animal and plant world, and it's just like nah. And then fungus will just tell you that like both of y'all
Yeah,
are
you ain't got
under
nothing.
me.
Dude, that's what's fire about New York. Come like August, September, you go on some hikes around here, you go on the like most random trails, there's just like boom, 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 all types of fungus. It's fire. And I won't eat none of that shit, but I'll take some photos, you know?
Right, right. Yeah, there's actually apps now, like mushroom identifier apps, so you can like find out like if
Yeah.
they like they're not liable. They post like you can't rely on 100% on
Don't
this.
eat this shit and we can
Yeah,
buy yeah.
yeah, don't use our advice, but this is pretty accurate. I would probably guess.
This was I went to my cousin's wedding and the property they had the wedding on. I collected a leaf from each tree and I traced it and then I colored it in.
That's awesome.
Sound pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just a second ago, you started talking about God. That was actually one of my discussion topics. I just wanted to finish up on the cannabis before we got into that.
Yeah,
But what
yo,
are
we
your
could
thoughts about God?
well quick canvas like back to God after, but we could do a whole another podcast on weed, bro, and we should. And I swear to God, it would be dope. Like I'll show some shit, you'll talk about some shit. I'll show some of my glass art. That'd be fun. So we could
No
do like a
doubt.
whole segment on cannabis, and like I'll show like all types of other stuff because I have a whole nother plethora of information I could go on with that. So, but with
Yeah.
God, huh? I
No, I
guess I'll go
definitely
back.
think well, since you said that, I do want to just finish. Like, I think that there's a lot of undiscovered applications to cannabis too, like CBG, um,
Yeah, still new with all that shit. I barely know about that.
CBC. Yeah, these are like much lesser known cannabinoids that are like anti-Parkinson's, anti-cancer properties, like
Right. I have an uncle that suffers
CD.
Parkinson's, and that shit. Like, if it could be a potential cure,
And these are not
alleviate from that
intoxicating.
shit.
So for the people that are all anti-THC, like they could take this and you know what I'm saying? Like no
Right.
high feeling from it or whatever. Yeah, that's looking good.
I love hash. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I gotta say I love hash too. I like it better than like a lot of dabs. I just love like a flour sandwich, like flour, hash, and then flour. That's right
no,
there for
yeah, you.
me.
No, you know what's good with the cannabis. Like we dead ass should talk about it for another hour. You had the conversation with God. I mean, dude, I guess I'll go back to the statement of like I really don't like. I'll agree with like I think I know shit that I think's true, but if I
Hmm.
state it as true, not everyone's gonna agree that it's true type shit because
Hmm.
it's not like some of the stuff that we talk about. Like I think we can prove it to be fact, and like I think we have concrete evidence what we talk about, especially the 47 phenomenon. I think my page is like documented proof. And like, all right, personal reasons. I share personal connections on there, but I think there's more than just my personal connections. I think there's like the evident like placement of it. Like we were talking about, we'd be seeing in like shows, movies, media, news, masonry. That was a big connection. The Freemason connection
Hmm.
that boggled my mind because I went down the 47th problem of Euclid rabbit hole. They're big into that shit. Like it's not just like we're into it; they're into it. So yeah, no,
What
I
is
feel like
that?
the 47th problem of Euclid. That's like
Euclid
this.
was like a famous mathematician, but I don't know this.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's hard to prove history and not like I'm really big into history. Like I even have like I want to share this with you and stuff with my ancient
No,
coins.
I wanted to talk about the ancient coins too.
Yeah, we could do a whole little segment on that. They got some ancient coin podcasts that are popping off. My friend Aaron does one. But like if I get a better camera and we start talking about this shit,
No,
dude,
I
there's
think
just
ancient coins are fascinating because I'm a big time skeptic when it comes to like the story that they tell. Just because the
right.
media lies about everything, so like the history books could be lying about everything. So like,
Exactly. And that's how I started to feel about these coins. I'm like, are they even what they're telling us? But there's so many examples of these
but at the
coins.
same time, like even like regardless of what the story is, that's why buildings are fascinating. There's certain like they're called artifacts, and like the word fact is in artifact for a reason. It's like an undeniable thing, regardless of the
Right. I didn't
story
even
that
think of that
you
till now.
like, the interpretation or the story that you tell around it. The
Hmm.
fact is that there's this thing that's been around for even, whether even if you don't believe in carbon dating, like, you can just feel it with your intuition, like, this is old, you know what I mean?
Yo,
And
that
like there was a culture that used this as a medium of exchange, like,
right,
regardless of anything, like, there's something fascinating about
dude.
artifacts.
Something big with ancient coins, and I swear I'm the only person that talks about this, and I have a pretty prominent ancient coin page too. I don't know if you've seen it, the Noah's
Mm,
Numismatic page. I'll have to tag you on my Discord with it, or if you've seen it. But I post about coins, and I have like coin collectors, coin auction houses, dedicated ancient coin pages. They all follow my stuff, and I follow them too, and I never seen them talk about this fact. But ancient coins smell old. Like I can't describe it. Like I feel like I would need to send you one, and you would need to
mhm,
smell this fucking thing. It smells mad old. Like
mhm.
there's a weird
Yeah, there's a certain
there's
vibration to certain things,
right.
like, you
And
just
I said this
know.
to someone recently too. I fucking swear to God, some of these are cursed. Like I
Yeah,
almost feel like some of them have like a like some taboo something to them, you know?
right.
I feel an energy to them, and I'm like, I love them and I appreciate them. I learn from them. They're a positive, but I also feel like I gotta get them away from me to some degree. Like this fucking thing, if it's actually from Egypt and it's from the Ptolemaic fucking kingdom, there was a lot of shit that went down with this coin. This thing's passed through thousands of hands potentially, was potentially in a sarcophagus, had something to do with their fucking weird rituals. Like
Mm,
I have coins that the ancient obol, it's pronounced OBOL for the English language. It was a coin that sometimes would be placed in the mouth of a deceased loved one so that they could pay their tax fee, what you would call a
mhm,
fee or a tax in the afterlife, to get across into the more proper afterlife. So if you didn't get buried with your obol in your mouth, you weren't going to get paid to get to
mm.
the next afterlife. And I have some of those coins, and I'm like, yo, was this out of a fucking mummy's mouth? You know?
Yeah, nah, that's wild. That's for
Yeah, right.
sure. That's some
This
out
one's
there
crazy
stuff.
though. My camera sucks. I'm not
Yeah,
really
you're
good
good.
with all this here.
Okay.
There's an eagle,
Okay.
and then we got Zeus. Can you see that too?
Okay, yeah, yeah, yep, yep, yep. From there, yep.
Where this camera sucks. I gotta get a better camera, but
Yeah.
yeah, so
How'd
I
you
do
get into
feel
the ancient coin game?
dude, go back to my Uncle Teddy. He would travel. He spent a lot of time traveling, and he would bring back coins from like all his travels, like random ass coins, just like coins from their currency that they were spending, and he would give them to me, and I'd be like, "Whoa, this looks way different than your quarter, your dime, and your
Mhm,
nickel." So I'd be like, "This thing's rare and cool. It's got to be worth more or something." So it's like a monetary connection with it too. I was like, "This thing's got to be more valuable, whatever," in the collectible department. So I got into it through like not the ancient coins. I never really was into the ancient coins, but my passion for that stuff led me into getting into that other section of it because there's so much to numismatics. Numismatics is the term for studying currency, coins,
mm,
bills. Yeah, and you could become a numismatist today. Numismatist is the word for one that studies numismatics. So you could become a numismatist today just by getting the proper books and information and dabbling into it
oh
and
no,
buying
like
goods.
ancient cultures, they use like corn and beans, right?
Yeah, even do glass beads. I
Mm.
swear, physical labor, animals, whatever, anything barter and trade system was probably dated before we
Yeah, but
even
there's a
made
difference
stuff, right?
in barter and trade. Even barter and trade is even different than like a system which uses
Right.
corn or beans or even something natural that
Hmm.
in some in like our economy that's like a a commodity, right, or a resource or a food, right? It's something that would be exchanged for what we think of as money or currency,
Yeah,
whereas these cultures literally use it as money,
was like,
as
this is
the
the
medium of
currency.
exchange.
Yeah,
Right, right, right. So I think that's a little different when you even have any level of medium of exchange versus barter, where there's no real medium of exchange. You're just trying to weigh out how much of this is worth how much of this. There's no medium there.
this is 1721, Great Britain.
Mhm.
They used to make these little coins, and yeah, you could like spend this as like a dollar or whatever.
So is that like a shekel?
A
What do they call
farthing,
that?
or like
Okay,
a farthing,
got
farthing.
you, got you.
So yeah, though it's weird how we've all like got used to how we portray currency and how things were valued and stuff. But like, who the fuck's to say our dollar is really backed up by gold or silver? That shit could be worth goddamn nothing. Like,
Well, it
you
never,
know.
it hasn't been for a long time now.
Yeah, so 1964, you might know this fact. I've shared it a few times. So every quarter and nickel, or no, quarter and dime made in 1964 or all the years prior, they minted the coin with 90% silver. So like you literally had like 100% silver almost. It was like what the coin was worth in silver value. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But now we don't got no silver in our coins. So after 1964, it's all like
Same with
clad.
copper and the penny.
Same, yeah, exactly. Those copper pennies are worth more money because of that. But yeah, so silver, yeah, I think that's huge to get into. I think we should all invest in it, and it's kind of like a gamble. You could buy a fuckload of it, and it could drop in value, but it's always something you hold on to. Same with the ancient coins, you always hold on to them. And like a term someone was breaking down to me, I kind of heard this at a coin show. He was like, "These ancient coins have survived all types of crazy shit on this planet, like personal society conflicts, natural disasters. Like they could have got washed away in all types of floods or all types of other shit in this world. You know what I'm saying? They've survived the test of time and they've held their value. They held their value back in ancient times, and and now they're even holding their value now. And
Hmm.
they're still a precious metal. Like it's not. I don't have many gold coins, and I don't. I do have a lot of ancient Roman coins, but it's such like minuscule amount of silver. They're not really worth the weight in silver. They're more
Hmm.
the value of the historical value,
Hmm.
the history connection, all that shit. So here's like a silver coin of Nero. You ever heard of Roman Nero?
Yeah, the emperor. Yeah,
Yep. There he is. He's all chunky and stuff.
he did something with money, right? He changed the money system there in some way, or
Yeah, every
what was he
emperor
famous
would
for?
kinda change the denomination's value, like, sometimes, like, an emperor would get in reign and he'd be like, "Eh, we gotta drop it by this much percentage weight-wise or possibly purity-wise." So some emperors, their coins, their percentage of silver in the coin was very low, where, like, Nero, his coins were pretty pure with 99, if not sometimes just 100% silver, where you get, like, Emperor Caracalla. I can't pronounce his name right. Caracalla. You'd have to look him up. I'd show you him. But his coins, they're almost like more eroded easier because of the amount of impurities that he added to his coins. Where Nero
Gotcha.
was a little more pure with his stuff. There's an eagle on the back. And yo,
So
this
we
one
didn't.
smells from here. Like I'm like a foot away from it. It smells like it's fucking weird, dude. It's like almost it smells like a fucking like the empire itself. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's old. Yeah,
Yo,
no, it's holding that vibration in it.
right. Like, where was this coin when he died?
Yeah.
Or what was he doing when this coin was made? And there's
So we
fake ancient coins on the market, and you do have to watch out for that. There's a lot of scammy sellers on eBay, even Instagram now. I was one of the first people on Instagram to start posting ancient coins and connecting with that community and sharing information and knowledge. And there's plenty now on there that are doing the opposite. They're fucking scamming, scheming, and robbing people for fake ancient coins. So big would be collect ancient coins from a collected seller, someone that's been in it for a while, like someone that's been really passionate about it, doesn't try to scheme. And look for even trusted NGC slabs where they'll grade the coin and it comes back more authentic than if you just bought it from an eBay dealer, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. So we never did really get into God. What's your take on
Oh,
God?
yeah, word. I, my thought on God, bro, like my connection, honestly, it's some days it's very bright, and I feel like I'm on tune with what I should be doing, and I feel like He hears me, and I call it He. I don't know,
Right.
could be a female, could be whatever the fuck it is, and I feel like I'm on the right wavelength. But then there's days I'm like, I don't know if that shit's real, and if this is all just like some shit they've made you think through, like religion and afterlives and God, and same with these fuckers. They portrayed a thought and an energy to the rest of their people that they made think was fact and belief. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. Like I don't know if like what I think is supposed to be accurate and true, or if I'm down the wrong path. I'm on that balance, I guess, where it's like some days
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this is it. This is like what I should be doing. I'm thinking the right shit. Doing the right thing. And then other days I'm like, that was wrong. That was wrong. You know what I mean? It's weird.
I think it's
There's a lot of
healthy
doubt.
to have doubt. I think it's healthy to have doubt because truth survives doubt and lies don't.
Right.
You know, if you apply true doubt to a lie, it's not going to last. But if you apply doubt to the truth, it's still going to be the truth. I kind of see God as like the truth. You know, it's like we exist. That's hard to deny. I mean, you can deny it, I guess, but then it's like
You could. You'd be like, it's
that's
all simulation.
quite the contradiction. But I mean, even if it's a simulation, you exist in the simulation. Like to say you don't exist is inherently contradictory because like who is you that's even saying it then? You know what I'm saying? Like who's
Right,
you
right.
that's saying that you don't exist? So I think that's one thing that we can make a safe assumption about is that we exist, even if it isn't a simulation. And like the fact that we exist means that something created us, you know, and we could say that's our parents. But then if we really want to play that game, then we just what created them? What
Oh,
created them? What
fuck it.
created them?
Yo, I got a question for you, and I've had this one since a young age, even before I got into marijuana, psychedelics, and taboo thinking, and just being like conscious of certain things. If there was nothing at all, what would there be? Because there couldn't be nothing. Because a room of emptiness, whiteness, that's still kind of something. Like even if there's just a room of vast whiteness, silence, and nothing, that's still something. You know what I'm saying? So if there was
Mhm.
nothing, what would there be? There can't
Right.
be
No,
nothing.
that's the yin yang, dude. I was actually thinking about
Yeah.
this from like a different perspective, like earlier this morning. It's like a lot of people think like it's about good and evil, or like, you know, it's like light is good and dark is bad. But that's like that's not balance. Like balance is what is good and imbalance is what is I don't even want to call it bad, but it's like not balanced, you know? And
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because bad could still learn and be positive in a sense. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
like I was like personifying like light and darkness in my head and like the thinking of like the proper relationship between the two. And it's like, you know, you know, darkness is like, you're the shit, you know, like without you nobody would even know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like
right. Yeah,
without the light, like you don't even but there's like even layers to that saying, like you wouldn't even know who I am. Like the darkness also represents the unknowable. You know what I mean? It's like, but you need the light for the dark, but you also like the dark is already there. And then when the light is there, like they complement, it's a complementary relationship. It's not a struggle. It's a dance, you know? So I think that's just like my opinion and my take on the yin yang. But then obviously like the yin yang has yin yangs to it, you know. Other people will say no, it really is about good and evil. Like,
well,
okay.
yo, I'm gonna say this. I feel you've dived into a lot of certain topics and information where I think you've researched it more than I've dived into. Like I could have went on a more of a longer tangent for those ancient coins. I'd be up till 3 in the morning talking about them,
Yeah,
and
I
I
know,
still don't
I can
feel.
tell that's like a passion of yours.
Yeah, and I still don't feel I would have filled you in on what I know and how I've learned through those things. So I feel you have that passion for a lot of things too, where you've dived deep into certain topics and information. I haven't dived that deep into a lot of shit, and to be quite honest, I feel like even back in high school, like mad long ago, I should have took more time to appreciate certain things and like learned more and spent more time diving in. And like you don't figure that out till you're older. Like it's cool to know shit and learn. You kind of, for me personally, growing up, it was kind of like I didn't want to be the smart guy exactly, and like
Hmm.
because when I would talk about certain
Not
smart shit,
cool.
yeah, you didn't blend in as well. People would think you're kind of crazy or whatever. And I'd be like, well, dude, look at this. Like, even this UFO talk shit going on right now. Dude, I swear to God, I've been seeing weird shit in the sky since I was in middle school. And I would bring it up, and people would be like, oh, what are you, conspiracy theorist? But now it's like,
Which
you
is
just
just a term to dismiss people that are like thinking about things differently.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's probably some shit that maybe I fell into, like I can't deny my wrongs with maybe thinking some of the artists out there, like musicians and stuff. I'm like, oh, they sold their soul to Illuminati, and like, you can get down a rabbit hole where it leads you to like not. It's almost like disinformation. You're wasting your
Mm,
time. Like you could go spend your
100%.
right. You could spend your time better doing something, learning something. But like, there's ones that get dismissed as conspiracies. It's like, nah, like common
Yeah.
sense, bro. Like,
The
what
moon
the fuck,
landing.
like
Yeah. The
type
moon
shit. Like
landing is
even like
like such an obvious one to me. It's like there's certain ones. It's like if you think that's a conspiracy theory, you haven't even done surface level research into
right,
this.
right,
You know?
right. And it's like I'm not expecting you to spend the rest of your life trying to like save the world or like learn this information to like
Yeah.
know more than the rest of the world. Like I feel like some people take it egotistical, like you share
Hmm.
some taboo shit or some like esoteric weird thoughts or like unique thinking, and people are like, "Oh, like you think you know more? Like you're trying to be better." It's like no, like I
Yeah.
just want you to see what I'm seeing and experience it
Yeah.
because you'll be like, "Yo, this shit's real as fuck." And
Expand
like,
your imagination a little bit.
right, right, don't
I
just
think part of like our educational system is truly meant to atrophy our imagination.
oh
Are you a
fuck yeah.
South Park fan?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I feel like I've strayed away from a lot watching a lot of shit, but
Yeah, I don't watch
South
much
Park's dropped a
anymore.
lot of funny episodes, and they've done a lot of funny things where I'm like, alright, they're poking at some shit, you know what I'm saying?
They had a whole, it was probably 10 years ago now at least, but they had a whole trilogy. I guess it was just regular episodes, but it was like 3 episodes in a row. It was called Imagination Land, and it was
Yeah, I
like
remember that shit.
the terrorists are trying to bomb our imagination. Like there are
Right.
so many levels of truth to that episode. Like they made it so like South Park silly and funny,
Right,
but
I
like
watched it as a kid, so
they're
I can't even really, like, think of it now, but yeah, yeah.
yeah, like the terrorists, they're trying to bomb our imagination, you know. But it's like that's kind of real. Like they're trying to scare us out of using our imagination, you know. And
Mm,
he was talking about like Santa and Jesus. He was like, even if they're fictional characters, like the impact that their stories have had on us are real. So like that makes them more real than a lot of the real people that we deal with in our lives, you know. Um,
that's
but
a
it's just
unique
like,
thought, like, a lot of people definitely are super over religious in the department, and, like, even if that shit's not real, they've made it real.
it's
It's, like,
real through
part
their
yeah, yeah,
belief. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Through
So
like the way that, yeah.
there's like so many things to life. Like I swear to God, it's hard to like pinpoint what's true, what's real, what's fact. And like I could be like, well, I've experienced this as fact, and I could tell you it as fact, and I feel like I have proof of it, but it still could get dismissed, and people would be like, oh, that's bullshit type shit. Especially the 47 shit. Like sometimes I articulate it really well, and people be like, "That kid's onto some shit." Like, no doubt what he's talking about is real. And then other times I get like the vibe, like people be like, "Fuck that shit. That kid ain't making no goddamn fucking sense." Type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that kid smokes
So
too much
something
weed.
I'd like to say, and this probably goes with a lot of conversations you've had on on your podcasts, or maybe in life in general, is kind of somewhat pick your battles wisely. And I don't say it like don't be who you are and don't bring up what you want to say, but like some people are just deaf ears. Like you'll tell them what you could
It's
show
funny
them
that
a
you're saying this. It's actually hilarious that you're saying this because one of my best friends, I've tried to make him, and hopefully it happens at some point. I think he's coming around finally, but he was going to be like my co-host. He was going to be on here all the time, but he lets other people discourage him. you know, and because he'll get to talking about this stuff, and then some of his closer friends are just like, man, you're fucking crazy, and then he gets discouraged, you know. It's
Oh
like,
no, trust me,
but
I
I've
got a
told him the
homie.
same thing. I told him the same thing. Like, you pick your battles. Like, this is an outlet for us to connect with like-minded people. Don't let non-like-minded people prevent you from doing what you want to do. You know
Right.
what I mean?
No, and I really do feel like I speak from the heart and the mind, and like when I say something, I mean it, and like I don't want to get into something that I don't feel is true. Like even the gematria stuff, I've seen it go down a dark path for some people where they'll waste
Mhm.
their time with it. They'll explain it horrifically. They'll make connections that don't make sense. But you've seen me post about it where it's like I have fun with it, and not only do I have fun with it, I try to do learn from it and share really important shit going on with it, connections I make with it. But there's like that whole 47 shit with it too. Like I'll be looking up shit that
So
is
gematria, just I don't want to. I'm not. I barely know much about it. All I know is there's like a code where every letter has a certain number value, and then there's ways that you can decode
different
certain
ciphers, right?
words, different ciphers. And I mean, I was a really math-minded person growing up, so that stuff does fascinate me. But what's prevented me from I actually did read a book on numerology, which is very closely related to gematria. I guess
100%.
gematria is technically a more specific form of the more general numerology, um, which that book did touch on gematria. Um, but what is the study of gematria? I guess one of the things that has turned me off from really diving deep into it is like what you were saying. These people that just make
Trust me,
they're stretching it.
they're stretching the fuck out of it. And
Yeah.
my page, I've had them follow my page. I've connected with them, and I've had them be like trying to share shit with me. And I'm like, yo, you got to chill because like there's definitely a truth to it, and there's definitely something you can learn from it, and it's a tool you can use. Like I swear to God, there's no doubt about it. There's undeniable proof of it being linked up and synced up with how they made the English language. Like there wasn't a
Yeah, there's a frequency to every letter, and then all. Yeah, no, there's definitely something to it,
there's
100%.
definitely something to it, but it can get
And I call
turned
myself
into
the balancing act because this of these exact types of topics where it's like, let's keep it lighthearted. Let's
yeah,
see it as a tool, as you know,
right.
when it makes sense, let's apply it. When it doesn't make sense, let's keep our fucking
Yeah.
groundedness
Oh,
about
bro,
us.
there'll be months I don't look into it at all. Like I don't even like I have so much
Right.
other shit in my life and passions and interests that you
That's
should
not
have.
one that I was gonna say. I mean, I might have seen you post about it a couple times, but that's not.
Yeah.
I see you post way more about 47 and ancient coins than I see, you know,
Sweet.
about
Cool.
gematria decodes and stuff.
Because like I definitely have the vibe that I'm a gematria page. I have a lot of big gematria pages and people that are into that shit that follow my page. They just they get a little too hard into it, like where like they get the sports stuff going with it and they start betting
Hmm.
on it. And like I understand it, like trust me, there's something to all of it. Like, but
Hmm.
you gotta live a life and get away from some of that because it'll fucking waste your time, money, and energy. And I had a personal friend, I won't say his shit, but like it definitely backfired on him. Him trying to explain it to people, use it to his benefit in somewhat of a schemy manner. Like I said, the
Hmm.
betting on things,
I
trying to
mean,
be like, oh well,
intention.
if this
That's
is
this is
true,
another reason why I'm a strong believer in God, because intention plays such a huge role,
oh
and that's what I was
huge,
talking about. That's what I was talking
right?
about earlier when you were talking about one of these occult practices. I don't remember exactly which one we were talking about then, but I said you can use any of these tools either way. You can use
Right.
knowledge for good, or you can use knowledge to spread love, or you can use knowledge to try to dominate other people and manipulate other
Dude,
people.
and
And knowledge is just a tool.
that's what's big about the 47 stuff. It always comes to mind. It's like a balancing, like it's a positive and it's a negative because it's like sometimes I take it as like when I see 47 show up in a weird way, it's like it's like how many times do we need to tell you we're showing you this sign or this omen or this synchronicity? How many times do we need to tell you to be like, bro, you need to get not like your shit together, but like there's something else to it. Like there's something more to it. They're not just doing it once. It's like 1,000 times we've experienced these synchronicities.
Mm.
And yeah, some people brush it off as conspiracy or coincidence, but bro, I swear to God, I got undeniable evidence. I'll break it down on national television. Like I'll break it down to my I'll be talking about this shit with my family. Like, they don't care. Like, they know what I'm about. Like, they really are in tune with my thinking too, which I appreciate, because there's mad people out there, they can't have this ear like you're having right now. Like, this, all these conversations, people be like, "Bro, you're tripping, dog." Like,
Mhm.
you're not, you know what I mean? But no, I've just always been into like what we maybe taboo type thinking, or what's that other word people like to use, is esoteric. Like,
Right. Do
and
you
yeah, we could
feel
get
when
deeper into it too, for sure. Like, I have
yeah.
notes. I got shit I've written down.
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel when you see the 47 that that's like a message to like keep a balanced mindset?
Yeah, like, definitely, dude. There's been times, I swear to God, like, I can differentiate if it's from a personal, possible family member sending it from the afterlife, or if it's connection with Steez. Like, I don't even, like, I've never met Steez, swear to God, but like, I'll be listening to his music and just like randomly pause the song, 47 seconds. You look at the time, it's 4:47. You got 47 battery percentage, and none of it's personally planned. Like, I'm not trying to do that shit. Like, so like, sometimes I swear I kind of feel like I know where it's coming from, but I also don't know what the fuck's going on too, and I can't prove it. Like, there's no way to prove some of that shit. You feel me?
I mean, do
So
you think so? It's just to tie back into the God situation, like if this is all a program where numbers are kind of behind every action and behavior, I mean, that's doesn't that point toward intelligent design?
yeah, no, definitely. And sometimes I try to like dismiss it almost. Like, I'm like, oh, it's just another 47. Like, but nah, there's like too many times now where it's like a smack in the face of like, bruh, there's something more to that. Like even my like the whole thing with my uncle Teddy being born 1947, he got in the numbers at 47, not because of Steez or any of those other correlations like that. I got into it just because of his
Hmm.
own personal connections, and that's out of 14 aunts and uncles. And then I got like 60 plus cousins, and that's just on my mom's side. So just on my mom's side, not counting my dad's side, only one person that was in the 47 was born in 1947, got in the numbers at 47. And when I started bringing up the whole, my personal connection with the shits, he was like, whoa, like, this is cool. Like, cause he had no one else to talk to and explain that shit with, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So I've
Um,
had like some, what's the words, S- uh, epiphanies, omens, or like spiritual awakenings. I've also done psychedelics quite a bit.
Me too. Yeah.
So I've had experiences where I've been like, there's something else than this
Yeah.
realm. You feel me?
Which ones do you feel are best? I mean,
Uh,
obviously you mentioned mushrooms.
yeah. Oh, fungus has gotten me to levels where I've cried. Not to
Yeah,
be like a
same.
bitch ass fucking baby, but like I've
No, yeah, that's
yeah, I've
if you've ever had a real mushroom experience, you can
oh,
relate to that.
that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. I had so many thoughts. I went through so many emotions, and I've done it though. I even ate shrooms back when I was like mad young, like, so I've done it for a while. But one that hit me so hard, and a lot of it's not recommended, is salvia. Because
That's
it
one
can
of the
have,
few I never did.
it's the dude. All my friends got into it because of this one friend that was like he was really into psychedelics, so he
Hmm.
was like
I think
he got some.
that's me in my friend circle. I'm that
Really?
guy.
So you were putting people on game to all this shit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Have you
right.
ever used DMT?
Not in the department I tripped, but I hit the pen, like some
Okay.
weird fight. Yeah, but not the whole seeing what people are hearing and talking about. Like, I haven't had that trip. But the salvia did it to me. I smoked that shit seriously. And so when I hit it, dude, I was young at the time, and I had an even more high pitched voice than I do now. And when I hit that shit, apparently, I don't remember. I was gone for like 20 minutes. I spoke in a very deep voice, and I was speaking in like a Latin term, like a fucking, I
Hmm.
couldn't even pronounce the words I did that I was speaking on this shit. And people filmed it, like they had recordings of it. I was speaking on some crazy fucking like Latin term shit. And I came back from that and I was like, yo, dude, what the fuck? Salvia's so fucked. But I was so like fucked up from it. I put my head down on the couch, and then I had a whole closed-eyed visual trip. And
Hmm.
the closed-eyed visual trip, I remember more than when I had my eyes awake to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it had a common theme that a lot of people have on salvia. You get morphed into like a folder with like thousands of souls. I can't describe this, but mad people have had it. You're like in this, like those phone things that would have all your phone numbers and names on it.
The Rolodex.
A Rolodex. And we're all on this Rolodex, and every time your Rolodex card would come to face God or whatever the fucking entity was that was controlling this trip I was on,
the salvia spirit, yeah.
Right. It would be like, no, 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 no. And then you'd smack the ground and you'd repeat it. And it was like this cycle that felt like literally like it wasn't going to end. And mad people, you can talk to people that smoke salvia, they're like, yeah, you feel this impending doom that is never going to end. And then when you come back from it, you're like, oh my God, I need to appreciate life more.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what the fuck was that shit? You're like, you feel like you were going to get trapped for eternity. Like you're never coming back type shit. Yeah. And that was salvia for me. Some people smoke the shit, they get a different high. Like they'll smoke it and be like, oh, I laughed and had a good time. Like you smoked like a weird form of it. Like it wasn't concentrated like the shit I smoked,
Yeah, most of the people that I know that smoke salvia had an intense experience for sure.
Yeah.
Actually was making, when I first got into DMT, I started making it pretty much immediately. And I made a bunch of it and I would give it to some people, and some of the ones that had smoked salvia before said that was the closest thing that they had ever had to a salvia trip.
Right. It's a natural plant that grows, but when you what's the word for it? Like extract it more and like synthesize it more, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah,
it gets
not
way more potent.
but it's like concentrated. Yeah.
Concentrated, that's the word.
They use the resin. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I smoked. I smoked the resin form, and yeah, I learned from it, but I'll never do that shit again because I don't think I need to learn from that again. I got scared as fuck on that shit.
Yeah, no, definitely a psychedelic experience can be intense for sure. It can show us why we should appreciate, regular
And that
life.
goes back to God. Like I do feel like I had a connection with God on that shit. It was scary as fuck, but like I definitely felt like when I came back from that too, I couldn't explain that shit to people. Like I was like trying to break it down and articulate it, and they're all like, nah, you just smoke salvia, dog. I'm like, nah, there was something going on with that shit. Like
100%. 100%.
Right.
You ever tried LSD?
Yo, I did when I was younger, but I feel like I got some boof shit, and it wasn't what I feel like I should have been feeling. So I really probably say my strongest trips. Yeah, because people tell me LSD is way smoother than eating fungus. Because fungus, you get like stomach aches, you get like some jitters, you get some like wigged out feeling. You know what I mean? Where I've heard where you eat the L, you're supposed to just feel really good with it. Like it's supposed to be a good time. Most of it. Where fungus, like indefinitely, you're gonna have some wigged out bad effects to some degree. You know what I mean?
Depending on mindset, yeah.
Right, that too. All day.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's something to the psychedelic experience. I think they're best used, responsibly with conscious intention, proper set and setting. I think all of that stuff is very important.
With that being said, I feel like a lot of people, including myself, you said use it responsibly. It's like sometimes the irresponsible in dosage is when you really learn a lot, when you really overdo shit, but don't do that.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't recommend it, but at the same time, like, it could teach you something,
You might fuck around and learn the world, like.
Right. No.
Dead ass, dude.
For sure. I heard a quote one time, and my buddy Aaron told me this. He said, "You got to test your imbalances to know how balanced you can be." And it's like, I feel that with psychedelics for sure. Sometimes you just gotta take the leap of faith and explore other realms.
Right. Sure,
but
man.
At the same time, if it's not for you, or if you're already like, some people are just already there too, though. I don't know if they're the type that.
Yeah. No, I got some friends and family members. Like for my Uncle Teddy, for example, I do possibly think when he was down in Mexico, he may have ate some peyote or
Yeah.
something happened down there where it led to his spiritual awakening. But there's a chance none of that happened, and he was just on that wavelength, like you're saying. Like you
No,
don't need
that's a really good one. That's a good one.
right. He doesn't need psychedelics to be where he was, where some of us maybe needed that stimulation or thought process to get us to where we kind of were, like
Well,
cannabis.
I would say to break us out of the lies. We're
Yeah, for
already
sure, bro.
the psychedelic experience is like at a more real level, a real frequency. You know, it's like I think it's more of an unlearning process to get back to the truth. Like we're born in truth. You know, kids know the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like a 2, 3, 4 year old, like they know the truth. You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah,
learn how to like fit in and how to satisfy their parents and their teacher to get what they want. You know, like
yeah.
that system of like reward and punishment is what kind of like domesticates us. Really, it's like we're domesticated animals, but we like try to deny it because
Fucking
our
true,
ego
bro.
is like, yeah, no, but it's our ego that's like, nah, you know, we're not domesticated, we're just top dog. But it's like, nah, we domesticated ourselves with all these beliefs that are really lies for the most part, you
Yeah,
know.
man. Here's someone I rep a lot is AK the Savior.
Yes, I wanted to get into music too. I see you posting AK, Lord Fubu.
Love Lord Fubu's music, man. If he was here right now, he'd be bumping some sick new beats for us right now. I swear to God.
Do you know him personally?
I talked to him. Yeah, I'm in his Discord, and I'm kind of like how I am in my Discord. I'd be posting weird, random, like taboo things, and people are like, "Yo, what the fuck? That shit's sick as fuck." I'm just like in and out sometimes with that shit, you know?
Yeah, that's what's up.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I see you posting cool music, and you got even your intro. I was listening to an intro to one of your podcasts. I had to ask you about who that artist is. He just was touching on some good
Uh,
lyrics and thoughts, and like
yeah,
almost like some
yeah.
Steve shit. Yeah,
Real. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I felt like
that's
I
my
actually was
bro.
like I felt like a vibe with that shit. So I was gonna ask you who that
He's been
artist
on the
was.
pod. You gotta check that one out.
Oh, word, yeah, yeah. He was just your most recent podcast was the intro for that one. I don't know if you use that for all your intros
But
or.
yeah. Well, so I do flip it up sometimes. Sometimes the outro is the intro, and sometimes it's those two though, for the most part.
Cool. Yeah, no, his
Um,
verse is fire on that. It felt like a like I like a lot of songs, especially AK Savior, where it's like he's like talking like a story,
mhm.
explaining like his thoughts, and it's not just like fuck bitches get money type shit. It's like
Yeah,
actually like it's got some
yeah,
knowledge, and that's why I really fucked with Steez because he could do those bars, but he had like a whole nother way of like actually articulating his thoughts in like a unique manner like a lot of people his age couldn't do. I still can't fucking do, and I've been trying to write poetry and raps for years, and I still can't get double entendres down, certain words to link up with other words. It's kind of hard. You know what I mean? Like it's hard if you don't try enough, though. At the same time, like if you try enough, you could get locked in. Like I won't do it tonight. Maybe I will. I'll spit a verse. I got some sick verses.
okay. Yeah, no, I've seen you post some poetry in the Discord sometimes too.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, let's see what I had here.
Yeah,
Okay,
we kind of
so
went off topic because I have so much shit I could talk about, and I'm what people probably consider someone that just likes to ramble. But this
me
is some
too.
art I kind of got influenced with fungus. Was there's just always a pattern around anything you look at, you know?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
like something as simple as that flower has like breathing stuff around it. So that's kind of what I went for with drawing stuff. It's just like there's so much going on, you know?
yeah. The
And I got to get
unseen.
better with it too. Eventually, I'll get better with it.
No, that's dope, man. What do you think about intuition?
Huh. So like your gut feeling or
Yeah, the knowledge, the Toltecs call it silent knowledge. It's the knowledge that you have that doesn't have a voice. I would say it's the knowledge from your heart.
there's
It's
times I
it's
trust myself and then I fucking do what I feel like was destined. You know what I mean? Like that's the move, do it, and then it backfires. So I can't really differentiate what intuition might be or not. Like I feel like there's times I don't know. Personally, I feel like we got to get really healthy like drink a lot of water, exercise, eat healthy, and just try to be like the best person you can kind of be. And then the intuition might hit a little harder. Where like if you're out of whack, you're doing shit you shouldn't be doing, chilling with people you shouldn't be, overindulging in shit you shouldn't. That intuition starts to get dim, but it's there, but it's hard to like, is that the path? Is that the path? But if like I feel like you start to just get better at being like more like maybe like I said, just the plain word healthier, just being healthier, that intuition might be a little stronger. Cause like there's times I'm like, dude, I'm eating unhealthy, I'm drinking unhealthy, I'm not living right, and then my intuition ain't making no damn sense. Like I follow it and it don't lead me to the exact path. But then there's times, I did the right thing that day, I feel, or that week even, or that month, and that intuition was just like 40, like even the 47s, it's just like after one, after one, after one, like I do something that I thought was right, boom, there's that 47 that shows up in a really weird way to like confirm it type shit,
Hell yeah. Nah, I think intuition is it's like how we really know things. Like I think it's something more primary than our rationality and our logic. And I don't want to discount rationality and logic. I think it's assigned role and it's important, but our intuition is kind of like what guides. I I don't really
Do
know
you,
how
do
to
you
explain
feel
it.
in a sense
It's
like
beyond
when
words, for
yeah,
real.
no, I feel like a lot of things we talk about, even the 47 phenomenon and some of the things we've discussed, I don't feel like you can fully articulate or explain it. Like it's hard to like, because like there's only so many things I could say to try to convince you, I guess, or like make you think maybe what I'm experiencing is real type shit. You know what I mean? You got to kind of be there in person for some of the things I experienced too, and I'm sure that's for your life too. Like a lot of people in life, like you kind of got to be there in the moment, and then it's like, all right, whoa, I see how all that aligns, and you're not tripping when you start to think and feel and
Yeah,
talk
no,
about
the word
things.
experience is where I was what I was actually thinking there. I think our intuition is actually what truly guides our experience, no matter how rational someone thinks they are.
Right,
Like your intuition is what's guiding your experience, and then you're rationalizing it if you feel the need to explain why you did that.
and that's a
That's when
big thing.
you're
Like I feel
rational.
like I try to
Yeah.
rationalize so much stuff, and there's no way to like kind of wrap your mind around some of the things.
Hmm.
Like I even past the 47 stuff, I got my 47 sightings that I label as synchronicities or like glitches in the matrix or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just like weird timing, perfect timing, divine
Hmm.
timing, angel
Hmm.
numbers, omens. But I've got ones past the numbers, like personal experiences where like you'll think of somebody and that person texts you or calls you. And you're like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, I haven't talked to that person in a year or two. And now all of a sudden, the reason I think of them, they're texting me. Weird shit. I got
Or
so
maybe,
many examples.
but that's the thing. Like, who's to say that it was like you're thinking of them? You know, like maybe they thought of you, and that's why you were thinking of
Yo,
them.
true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's
They're
all
sitting there
connected.
like, yo, what the fuck is Noah up to? And then I get this text and I'm like, yo, like, yeah, weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
I'm big with
Yeah, that
dreams too.
definitely. Okay.
I'm really big with dreams. I even have I kind of thought that shit was retarded. That's a bad word. I thought the whole dream journal shit was so corny and cringy. Like you're writing down your dreams, like you're trying to like. But I don't know. I just never thought into that shit. But when I started having such intense dreams, I had to like remember them, and I couldn't without writing shit down. If you don't remember it without writing it down, you're screwed, bro. Because then you try to like you need to write certain words down with it too that connect
Hmm.
with the dream. Because like if you try to just broad write out what happened in your dream, it's you'll go reread your note about the dream. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You delete that shit. You feel me? You got
Right.
to write down key events, certain things that happened in that dream, words, faces, experiences, and I've had certain dreams where I'm like, dude, that shit like comes to fruition. Where like you believe something in your dream, something happens in your dream, and then real life that shit literally occurs. Where like I
Yeah.
feel like I got proof of that too, but I can't really prove it because if I share that shit, it's just personal experiences. So who's to say if it's true or not? You know what I mean?
Some things you literally can't talk about because it'll change things in
Yeah,
ways that you don't want to change. So you just kind of have to process it yourself. And like, I'm a big sharer, you know, I like to
yeah,
talk through
same.
things and share things, but there are certain things that it's just not wise to do that.
Right, and back to the whole picking your battles wisely, and I'm still learning to do that. I'm still learning to do a lot of shit. Like I swear, like every day I'm trying to learn and be better and do something better. But picking your battles wisely. Like there's times like even out in public and shit, like you know when to read the room. Like you can't just be like, here's this fact is well, you know what I mean? You kinda gotta lead into it and then that person might be that change in the world you want it to see or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right, because
No,
like
I
some
think leading by example is huge for sure.
right. And that comes back to being a healthy example, is trying to be like always exercise and drinking properly and not fucking eating fast foods and
Ah,
eating fake, yeah, all that shit's
nah,
fucked, dude. That
it
shit's so
is.
fucked, and I've learned from it. Like I've learned all of this is gonna do me in the
I'm
long,
guilty. I'm guilty of doing it every now and then. You know, I
right?
got Arby's the other day and it was just like I knew as soon as I placed the order, I was like, why am I doing this? You know, but
Yo, you ever watched the movie Soylent Green?
uh-uh.
Oh shit! All right, old movie from like
I've watched a bunch of like Food Inc. and
right,
I mean
gotcha, yeah.
I know how disgusting it is. It's just sometimes it's just I don't know.
You can't-
I think it's honestly I think it's an addiction. I think
Yo, dude, it
there's
definitely is.
chemicals in that
It's
shit that are hard to process all the way out. Like it can be years later, and you can just still be
you
like,
still
mm.
got some Arby's DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude, they hit us with Soylent Green. I'm gonna send you that movie. Watch that shit.
I'm telling you, like the American food is like half our shit is illegal in most of Europe. You know?
Yo, and I'm big into gardening and farming and producing
Yeah,
your own shit, and I've been trying to
yeah,
get more of my friends and family into it. And I think, dude, if you were growing indoor, greenhouse, and outdoor, and you had mad friends and family members doing that, producing all types of veggies, crops, and herbs, you wouldn't have to shop at the grocery store. You would literally avoid it at all costs. You wouldn't even have to think of it. You'd be like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah's got the blah, 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 and I've got the blah, blah, blah. Like, we're all growing our shit. Like, you don't got to worry about going to the grocery store unless there's certain things you need, of course, you can't accommodate for, grow, or produce. So there's times like stores or small goods stores are good to support, but like, dude, like going to Mickey Donald's or Burger King or like Walmart and buying all that fake processed shit, you're not supporting nothing but like the death of yourself and probably the death of society because you're fucking up a lot of shit. So really, you're better off growing, like I said, indoor, greenhouse, and outdoor, and just trying to produce all your own shit. And that's a goal is being a own what's the word, a homesteader.
yeah. What about meat? You
I
don't eat
eat it,
meat?
but I feel taboo eating it in a sense. Like I don't feel like it's right. I feel like sometimes, especially when you eat fast food or like a really
Yeah, yeah. That's different.
yeah,
But
that's different. But like my cousins have a chicken farm and they sell turkeys and they sell eggs and stuff, and I see how they raise their animals, and it doesn't seem harmful. Like they're happy, they're living their life. The
right,
meat seems less tainted. There's not as many
pasture
preservatives.
raised.
Yeah, there's less preservatives and chemicals and harshness and less
Hmm.
factory farming practices involved. But at the end of the day, if you could live a life of eating no dead animals, that just seems better to me than eating the animals. You feel me? But I'm not a vegan and I'm not
I
a
don't know.
vegetarian, so
Yeah, I don't know. I've been reading this book that one of my podcast guests actually recommended. Murph. He's got a pretty big Twitter following, but it's called The Higher Consciousness, and it talks about fasting and how like our bodies are actually like we don't really even have to eat at all if we knew how to properly breathe. Like that's why you know he makes the point like if you stop breathing you die. You can stop drinking for like 2 weeks. You can stop eating for you know depending on how well you've trained yourself through fasting practices. You can go years without eating. You know. Um,
I think I gotta fast. I almost swear to God, like if I fast, I'm gonna like get rid of like some parasite in my body, like you know what I mean? Like
I feel that too.
like I feel like I've brewed something from eating their foods. Like
Yeah,
if I get all like if I fast and like eat healthy, I feel like I'm gonna like get rid of toxins that have been kind of poisoned. Maybe that intuition thought, and maybe that
yeah,
connection with God, and maybe that connection with just like your spirituality in general, because you're fucking eating Taco Bell at 2 a.m. Like it's fucking putting
yeah,
you to bed. Like it's fucking
yeah.
killing you. Like it's
No,
not
thank
making no
God.
damn sense.
No, thank God. Thank God. Even though I do, fall into eating some garbage every now and then, it's like an occasional thing. It's like not the norm. You know what I
It's not
mean? Like,
your go-to. Got you
right,
right. Because
right.
I know
You know,
fucking mad people in my life. They're on the fast food. They're on the cigarettes. They're on the prescription pills.
ah, it's
And yeah, you
wild.
try to get them on the like, oh, I remember back in the day trying to get people to go vegan, and maybe I came off as like too vegan or whatever at first. Like, oh, y'all are supporting some satanic fucking meat crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like people,
Yeah,
like all people were like, nah,
I'm
I ain't
super
feeling
pro
that.
indigenous, and so like the whole diet thing to me, like for me, it's more about it's not about vegan or carnivore. To me, it's just like have reverence for the food that you eat and
Right,
recognize that you're literally merging your spirit with the spirit of another living being, and just having that like gratitude and like recognition of that this is a sacrifice and like a ceremony to like improve your being, but through taking
bro.
in the energy of another
Yeah,
being, and it's like that's a divine act, it's a divine ceremony. And I
hundred
think just
percent.
recognizing that can make the food healthier too. Like there's been studies done on like prayer over food and like the
Oh
health
yeah,
benefit that you can give the same like the same meal to two different people. One person prays over the food, the other person doesn't, and the other person gets more nutritionally benefited from the
right.
food that was prayed over. Like
And whether
there's
the
something to
food,
this stuff, you know?
right, and whether that was the brain doing it or the food physically getting altered, either way, I think there's shit to that. And it goes
Yeah.
back to that talk we had a little bit earlier, was when we've eaten psychedelics and been around plants, and you really feel that connection of like, yo, these tomatoes are hurting. Like you
Yeah.
feel that
I was
vibrate.
literally just having this conversation in a different Discord about, we were talking about cannabis, but like and like I just mentioned earlier, I work in the dispensary, like the medical cannabis industry, but I don't I like it. Don't get me wrong. I would. There's no
Yeah,
other corporate industry I could even possibly work in. So if I'm gonna
got you.
like play this game, this is where I want to be playing it. But
Yep.
it is sad though, man, because like you're talking about feeling the plants. Like these plants are in a warehouse under like lighting, like not getting any soil because it's just like some like
Cocoa.
no, it's like hydroponic with like nutrients put in it.
Yeah,
You know,
synthetic newts. All of it's never.
yeah,
Yeah,
synthetic salts and shit like that.
which work. They'll fucking make your plants look beautiful.
Yeah, no,
But
it works for what the business world, the corporate world needs in terms of being able to barcode it and test it and make sure it comes within a certain percentage of the previous batch. That's why
right,
it's all clones too, which is
true.
see, it's like I'm glad it's cannabis. I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
it's better than it's being totally illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's better than it
Facts.
was. But my philosophy is like I grow like 10 plants because I want to give them all like my love and attention and care. And
Same
I
vibe with
take I
me.
take like a super good care of these plants that are getting sunshine and like
Yep.
they might have to fight off some pests, but like that's also like making the terpene profile stronger from having to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
stress.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
little
the
bit of
stress of the
stress, but
environment.
you still need to be there to be its caretaker and make sure the pests don't take over. But just the
That's
fact
a
that
big
they've even
point.
had to battle them a little bit, like brings
Yep.
out the different flavors and smells and medicinal properties, and it's just a
100%.
much more holistic experience.
And like sometimes you can neglect a outdoor plant, not even look at it, don't trim any fan leaves off, don't even do nothing to it, and it goes crazy. and it lives its beautiful life. But it's not
That's
always
true,
the
but that
case.
hurts my soul to hear because I'm the one that's out there every day trimming those fan leaves off.
Right,
Like
yeah.
the sun needs to get all the way to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Genetics are key. You got to find a strain that really likes its environment. Like if you get some strain that someone grew inside for maybe past 10 years and you plant those seeds outside, they
Oh
might
yeah.
work really
But
good,
see,
but
you mean even just planting, even just planting from seed though? Like, don't get me wrong. I've had my first successful clone this year, and I really, for me, it was just a matter of I wanted to do
clones
it.
are dope.
Clones, it's cool, but growing it from seed is really the way it's
That's the
done,
key,
in my
bro. Yeah, and
opinion.
you get a more vibrancy. You get to see the whole stage of life. You get a more
Right.
personal touch with it. You can top it when you want. Where you get the clones, sometimes it's already got like 40 branches going different ways, and
And
yeah,
I'm, you know, if I want to be lenient toward that side, like I'm even okay with a first generation clones. But then when you got second, third, fourth, eighth generation
it's like
clones,
watered
like
down.
it's the spirit out of the thing is gone at that point. It's
Yeah.
it's almost like a pharmaceutical plant at that
Can,
point.
can you relate with this? Especially for me in New York State, growing up, there was always good steady, like if I wanted Chem Dog or Sour Diesel or Blue Dream or Bubba Kush or Headband or Chem or these just like Cinderella 99, like these authentic OG strains, they were nonstop. I could get them in seed form, I could get them in the pack form, and now you can't even fucking find none of that. And if you do, someone's like, "Oh, I got Sour Diesel." It's like some watered down, it's like purple type
Oh
sour. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah. I see
mean?
what you're
Yeah, it's
saying. Yeah,
different.
yeah. Like the
Yeah,
OG strains are like don't even really exist anymore. No,
swear to
there's
God.
something to that. Yeah.
Right.
No, there's something to that. Yeah, I haven't had like a G13 or Afghan Kush or Blue Dream. Still, I still hear about that one.
Really, yeah. Blue Dream's even rare for just picking up in general. Like no one has it. I swear, it's weird because I swear everyone used to have
Runts
it
and
nonstop.
gelato is like all I hear about now is runts and gelatos.
Yeah,
I hear about those all the time. All sorts of different runts, all sorts of different gelatos.
and yeah, people say they got the runts or the whatever, and it's just maybe it's good weed. Sometimes it's not, but it's in those
Yeah.
like fancy packs that everyone's buying. They get
Hmm.
like the 3D print or like the fancy labeled packs and shit, and it's just like yeah, I feel like cannabis has kind of got like too commercialized, maybe.
Yeah, but there's a balance to again. I think it's better that than being illegal because
Right, where you're getting fucked over for
now
half
we're
a
in the
grain.
game. Now we've entered the public consciousness. Now people like me can even say, "Hey, you know, there's another way we can do this and not get in trouble." You know what I'm
True.
saying? Like,
True, or even say, like, for example, you share with friends or family, you're like, "Hey, I work at a dispensary or I run a dispensary." People may be like, "Oh, that's legit. Like, that's cool." Like,
yeah,
they respect it a little more. Because when I've told friends and family I work at cannabis farms, they're like, "That boy ain't living right."
yeah,
Like, and
yeah,
I'm like, "Yo, that's what I fucking find my passion in, though. Like,
yeah.
that's what I find cool. That's what I find interesting. I've
Oh
learned from
man,
it. Yeah.
same, same. You know much about the history of cannabis in terms of like,
My furthest dating back information of it is China. Is that they
mhm,
used to make hash with alcohol and weed, like they'd make like some of that. You ever heard of Everclear?
mhm, oh yeah,
RSO,
mhm,
Rick Simpson oil. I
yeah,
feel like they were making Rick Simpson oil back in the day. It wasn't called Rick Simpson oil, probably was a different
right,
process, but they were making
right.
some extracted form of cannabis, and I
Mhm.
think there's like proof of that in ancient China, where they were
Yeah.
like using the plant not not only recreationally but very medicinally. Where maybe we could get into that more too.
Yeah, you should check out the work of a guy named Chris Bennett. He's like I would say probably the most
Okay,
prominent cannabis historian that there really is. He talks about like the ancient Scythians, which is uh
I'll type it down.
which is kind of like where China meets India meets like the Mongolian Empire in that area.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, a lot of interest. I don't know it well enough to speak on it too much, but basically, cannabis has been around, the human story for as long as our memory can really go back.
Yeah, and I think oh wait, when I'm typing this name wrong. Chris Bennett or
Bennett, yeah, Bennett, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna add cannabis to it, see what
If you
pops
had,
up.
it's an underground because cannabis has never been, super pop culture thing.
Right, no
Um,
doubt.
especially if you're doing
Yeah, I
like
got
the
him.
history of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, definitely check his work out. There was only a couple other things I had on here. Oh, uh, economics, because you're numismatic. I
Yeah,
like to talk about economics because that was what although I have my degree in philosophy, my like concentration or minor was economics. And I feel like a lot of people, when you talk about, when you use the word economics, they start thinking about like the stock market or like even currency values, stuff like that. I think about it on a more philosophical level. Like, um, I think the way our current money system or our current economic system is set up right now, it's like a game of extortion. Like people have money, they gain interest on having the money, and people who are in debt have to pay interest on the debt. Like that,
right.
like that's so backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like you should have to pay interest on money that you're holding, and you should like you pay like the earlier you pay debt off, the interest goes down. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like like sometimes there's loans that like if you pay it off too early, you have the penalty of paying it too early. That's so backwards.
Right.
You
I
know what I'm
guess the
saying?
best way I can say it is shit's all fucked up.
It's totally backwards. But
it don't whoever
so
implemented these systems, they need to be whipped. Like they're not thinking right. Like I think we've been duped. We've been
yeah,
conned. And we've
100%.
been bamboozled into this life of having to do certain things and it ain't fucking adding up. And mad people are upset. And mad people are ready to fucking put their foot down, but they don't know how to. And I'm in the same boat. And like I feel like I've been bamboozled, or like even like the whole fucking like go to college and take these loans out to pay for these fucking degrees that never gave no one nothing. Some people got benefited from it, but others they fucking got screwed. And I know people still paying that shit off, and they didn't get a job because of that degree. And their money ain't fucking worth what it's worth. So it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I do feel we've been duped. Something's
Yeah.
wrong with this
I mean,
system.
central banks all over the world. You got a World Bank, you got an International Monetary Fund. It's all based on
They're all
ma-
schemy as fuck.
manipulating values, yeah, and manipulating a money supply. When it's not even backed by gold or silver, now the only thing that gives it value is literally how much of it is there, and then you're given
No,
the
yeah, though,
power
and then you say
to
you're
to
building up some value in your life, and you're building, you're stacking gold, you're stacking silver, and you're trying to build this life up. They could like flick the switch overnight and be like, "Oh, none of this shit's worth nothing," and we're back in like some fucking shit situation where your dollar's not worth nothing, your gold's worth nothing. So all these things we've worked for and built our lives for, they could just flip the switch and be like, "Oh, too bad," type shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, damn,
yeah,
we need to get our gardening going. We need to get our food up. We need to get our water up. We need to get our health up,
yeah,
and we need to like stock things more. And that's a big thing with me too. Is survival resources, like trying to be like ready for a situation where your dollar's not worth shit and your gold's not worth shit. Because end of the day, if like the lights are all out, power's down, that's worst case Ontario. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
It's a possibility. But if you only got some fucking paper currency in your safe, well, what the fuck's that gonna help when the power's
right,
down? No one wants your shit. Like you're doomed. Like so, I feel like
yeah.
we've been bamboozled.
No, I agree. I agree. I think. Have you ever heard of gift economy?
Where like you trade your shit. My bad. You trade your work for what you feel is
No, it's literally all about gifting. So it's about like setting up an economy that actually reflects God. Like life is a gift, Like we weren't
yeah. There's no fuck.
we have to pay to get here. So like and like the whole system is set up for us to not want to give because we need for ourselves. But like if we didn't have that system restricting our soul and our spirit, like we want to give, like
Hmm.
in our heart, we want to give to people who need. And then like when we are given something, we want to naturally reciprocate that and give it back. And so if we didn't have these like economic restrictions on us, I feel like that would be a more free flowing process, and we would naturally be giving to people. Like if my neighbor needed to borrow my tiller, that he could just borrow my tiller, and then if I needed to borrow something that he has that I don't have,
Right.
like it would just, just naturally, like, you owe me one sort of thing, where we're not holding
Type
it
shit.
over each other's heads. It's just like
Right.
a natural, like, free flowing dynamic that just exists, and people are able to like accomplish their
Yeah.
needs.
No, I had a conversation with a friend today. I feel like if you don't have like at least $100,000 in your bank account, you can't feel like fully comfortable. You know, I don't know. That might
Yeah.
be a weird number to
No,
place on
no,
it.
it is. No, I see what you're saying, but so, and here's a thought experiment that you'll probably like. I think this would at least wake up most conspiracy minded or open minded people. It's like, I actually think a social credit score is a good idea.
Oh wow, shit. Because I feel like I've always been like, oh, China's on some weird shit with that, but I don't know.
So I think it can be implemented horribly, and I think
Right.
like the way that it's been proposed, and most people by most people who have heard about it, the people that they've heard about it from are talking about it in the ways that it's being proposed, and the ways that it's being proposed are not very good. But
Right.
just like I mentioned a couple other times in this episode, like, any tool can be used for good or bad. And so,
Yeah.
like, if a social credit score, like, if it was real, like open source, like, if you want to use
Hmm.
computer terminology, like, the people who would have the highest score are like the people who are the realists, the people who show the most love, the people who show the most respect, like the people who show the most kindness to one another. Those would be the people that have the highest social credit scores. And like the way they're talking about it, like they're going to lower your credit score if you talk about anything real. You know what I'm saying? So it's like literally the opposite of how it could be implemented. But like
Right.
a real social credit score is, I think, actually like the real way that an economy that honors God is actually going to look, is like the people who give the most, the people who love the most, the people who like provide the most wisdom and like benefit other people's lives the most are going to have the highest social credit score.
Right, because there's some fucking rich millionaires that literally we know for a fact, like some of their endeavors, things they support, are fucking people over, are
Right,
killing people,
the people that are the richest right now in a
are doing
genuine
fucked up
social
shit.
credit score, but if the system was a genuine social credit
Genuine,
score, they would
right,
have the
right.
lowest social credit score.
They would be on the bottom of the total pole, where
Right.
like now they're at
The
this
whole
peak, and
shit would
everyone's
be
like,
inverse pretty much.
"Facts,
Not a total inverse. I don't want to
not a
pretend like
total."
there's there are good rich people and there are shitty poor
Right.
people, even as it stands now.
Yep.
But on the whole, there's a lot of shitty rich people and there's a lot of
It's a-
good middle class and poor people.
That's a good conversation we could get into. I don't know how much you want to keep talking and chilling for. I'm down to keep chilling.
Yeah.
But that conversation alone, because I've always thought of that, because I have a friend in China, and I always joke to them when they bring certain things up. I'm like, dog, they're listening. They know what they're fucking dropping your shit. You ain't gonna leave. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna fuck you over for what you're talking about and acting. But I could
Yeah.
be wrong. I don't know how hard body that their system is.
Yeah,
Like
I
do
don't
they look
either.
into your
We
social
what we
media?
hear over here is a lot of hearsay for sure.
True. So you don't know the facts of what's going on there. Like you get like the TikToks, the Instagrams, and it's like you see a
I'm
little
not even on TikTok. TikTok is
good,
one I've managed to avoid.
good. Yo, my family would be happy of that because I got on that shit and I regret it. It's fucking horrible, bro.
And now one of my friends is on it, and she's always sending me these clips. I used to be able to at least watch the clip, but now it won't
Yo,
even let me watch the clip without an account. So I'm like, don't even worry about sending them to me
good.
anymore. But
Fuck that shit.
yeah,
You get what you got to get from other social media. Like you get like 4 of those apps in your life. I feel like it starts to drain your energy.
man. And one of the things I heard, speaking of China, like TikTok is a Chinese company, and again, exactly what I've been talking about this whole time. Like, a tool can be used for like beauty and truth and goodness, and it can also be used for destructiveness and
Right.
like manipulation and ugliness, and like China, though, their algorithm, when they dole it out to their school children, it's like teaching them science and engineering, mathematics, and like
And
cool
then we
shit
got
that
like,
you learn from. But then the American algorithm is like twerking and
bro,
fucking
dude, I
smoking crack and smoking
yeah,
meth
I
and
was just
shit.
gonna say I was scrolling and I have my shit like I feel like my shit's like art, ancient coins, nature. I'll scroll, I'll get some dude hitting galaxy gas. I'm like, bro,
Yeah,
I don't need to fucking see this shit. Like, what the
yeah,
fuck? Like, they
yeah.
push it on people. I swear to
Yep.
God.
There's certain things that are pushed. Hawk Tua.
Yeah, what the fuck is that bullshit?
That's
We could bring up information, even just this little this conversation we've had tonight. that could really bring some positivity or unique thoughts or change to the world. And yo, what the fuck is
Or
she
this bitch
offering?
that's like fucking 100 or 1,000 dudes at once. Like
Yeah,
that shit is
millions of
being
views,
pushed
all
like
these people. Yeah,
crazy. They're
and
pushing it clearly.
how shot is it too? These apps that fucking monitor our shit, they'll fucking shadow ban me and you for posting real shit, and then they'll fucking make that bitch go viral. It's like that's
Yeah.
some wicked evil shit, dog.
Yeah.
And yo, my page, back to the 47 shit. When I started that page, I was getting like 10 likes on a post. Random, like no one was fucking with my shit. And now I'm getting like hundreds of likes on shit. People message me all the time, sharing 47 sightings. I'm getting all types of people. I've had so many weird people view my page, and you can use the fucking social media to your positive benefit. Like,
Yep.
there is a way
Yeah.
to like manipulate
Yes.
their vote, and like sometimes I'll get like I'll like break through the algorithm, whatever you say, and something I feel taboo will get mad views, and I'm like, that's what's up. I still support Instagram for letting me get through and reaching these
Right.
people and talk to them. And then
Right.
other times they're doing some wicked evil shit, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't even be on this.
You put the wrong hashtag or the wrong word in there.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're fucking screwed
No, it was,
over.
dude, it was, all right. So my boy James that I was talking about earlier, I did this one episode with him not long after like the whole Kendrick Drake fallout.
Yeah,
And
that's so strange.
I did a few shorts. I did like 5 shorts from that episode, right? 4 of those shorts had like 461 views, 430 views, 450 views,
Yeah.
420, 440, you know, they're all in the 400s. One of them was talking about Drake being a Jew. 3
And it went
views.
viral.
No, 3 views. 3
Oh,
views.
3, the opposite.
3.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
opposite. Yeah. That's how you
So,
know that shit's sketchy, because like
yeah,
it's not
they're
just like
all taken from the same episode. All, you know, 4 of them have 420 to 460 views,
right.
and then one of them has 3.
It's evident. Yeah, I've had it with YouTube. I've had it with Instagram, TikTok, all those apps. Like certain things pop off, and then some don't. And it's like maybe it's like the fucking AI system they got implemented that like tweaks it, or it's
It's
some
strange.
personal fucking real human being that's like sitting there
There's
like,
a
oh,
relationship between the two.
yeah, they're like, I don't fuck with this, and then they delete your shit and
Yeah.
shadow ban it. You're like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah. It's wild. It is wild.
a bunch of faces. Do you see them?
Yeah. Looks like it kind of reminds me of like Pac-Man ghosts.
Oh, I got it upside down. Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just drew a bunch of like wigwags and then I filled it in with faces, and then I got this on the other side.
What do you think about monogamy?
Yeah, I describe the word because I can't even say I'm probably too positive on what the word even means.
So monogamy is like the institution of, you know, one man marrying one woman, or even one man where, I mean, even in liberal terms, I guess it would be one person marrying one person.
So, like,
Versus,
would that be anti-trans, anti-gay, in a sense?
not really. No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's more about
Okay.
like one-on-one relationship versus one on many or many on many.
I feel one-on-one definitely makes more sense. There's more connection and stuff to build on and do shit with that. But at the same time, what if that one person ain't hitting and you're not connecting on that same wavelength? You kind of got to search around sometimes, and that's just my thought process. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like
No, I
some
think
people.
we're naturally promiscuous. I think the real debate for me, I think monogamy is not natural. And I think most
Right.
people would not even really agree with that. But the real question is what's natural, what's best? And that question, I don't know if I've really figured out. I think for me personally, and maybe this is just every guy's dream, but like I want one woman that only wants me as her only man, but is open to women herself. And like we can be a couple and go and like get single ladies to come hang out with us
Right. No,
for days
it's
at a
definitely a
time.
man's dream. I don't know if every woman would have
But no, but
agreed.
I think some women are, I
Right.
think there are there's a lot more women that are open to that than you might think, because then they have the man. Like I think a lot, like to a lot of women, like one man is enough. But like there's still kind of like there's freaky women out there that want their one man, but they still want to
Yo,
like hang out. You know, they want to get down with their girls too.
yo, and dog, go back to the social media. Right, right. But here's the thing, I think, dude, and I swear to God, and then don't go just for female, don't go for just male, go for all both of us. Social media, I swear to God, it's tainted that shit. Like it makes people more feel like they
Selfish.
gotta be horny or promiscuous, and it
Yeah, that's real.
promotes these thoughts. And like, dude, the whole OnlyFans shit, that dude, that was so wicked
That's
because like,
wild.
how are we not popping off on YouTube or Instagram promoting cool information and knowledge, but some bitch that's like 16's posting her shit and she's getting $10,000 overnight? I'm
Because
like,
she's got like whipped cream on her pussy and like
yeah,
some
right. And
cute tits or whatever.
I'm fucking hammering nails at the farm, bro. Fucking
Yeah,
working all damn day, and I make fucking scrap money. And I'm
yeah,
like, you're thinking to yourself, what the fuck? You're
yeah.
like, that shit
No.
don't add up.
But no,
So,
but there,
so
but so that's when the spiritual stuff starts to get to me a little bit because, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty liberal, obviously, for me to even talk about
yeah, to
monogamy
say
and
some of that shit,
promiscuity.
yeah,
So obviously, I think liberally about this stuff, but then at the
right.
same time, like, first of all, any sort of like nudity that you're putting on the fucking internet, like this is the internet we're talking about, people.
Some
Like there is
40-year-old,
something
creepy 50-year-old, 60-year-old.
spiritually draining about that, dude. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, there's something about that that doesn't feel
I'm
right.
glad
And
you feel
yeah,
that way because I've always felt that way 100%.
yeah.
Like,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
even,
feel
like,
I'm not a total
I'll be honest,
this is
even
the
doing this,
balancing act. I'm cool with like the thought experiment on being totally sexually promiscuous and you know, totally no limits and all that, but I think just your spirit has to like rein it in at a certain level, right? Like there is a balance to it. I'm open with promiscuity. Obviously, I've mentioned what my dream is, and I think
right.
honestly, I think it's more doable than a lot of people might think. But
Yeah,
at the
100%.
same
No,
time,
like,
like, but at the same time, I do want to finish this thought. I do think that that relationship, that partner, you know, because I do think that it's kind of like you're kind of, the vision I have is kind of like a hybrid, right? Like it is a monogamous relationship with that one partner in a sense, but then like you're still having fun and casual, like sexually promiscuous friends that are women, you know what I'm saying? And you could have more platonic relationships with men. That's cool too. But like putting your naked body and fucking on camera and then putting that, really it's putting it on the internet. That's like a whole different level.
bro, like, I swear to God, even dating back to like Facebook times when like I first started MySpace, Facebook, I never really even like doing selfies and shit. Like even doing this
Yeah.
FaceTime with you, like I have no problem with talking with people in person and talking about all types of shit. When I get on the camera, yeah, I couldn't imagine posting my butt on
Yeah.
no fucking
Yeah, no,
camera, bro.
this
Like
is
it's
enough
just
for
like
me. Like just doing this is I mean,
it's like
I
yo,
grew up
like
thinking I was an introvert because my
right.
parents were so extroverted, but because I grew up with my parents that were such extroverts, now that I'm older, I realize like I'm actually like more extroverted than a lot of people, you know.
Even doing this
But there's a
podcast, you
balance to
are,
it, you know. Right,
because a lot of people wouldn't even do this.
right, exactly.
So to
But
even
I
do
still
this,
have that introverted side. Like there's still a balance. Yeah, Kendrick
same.
Lamar says antisocial extrovert. You know,
Yeah.
and
No,
I
I
don't know
I,
if you.
I appreciate you fucking with Absol. He Some of his music reminds me of Steve's, where it's like very intellectual, deep in thought. It makes you
Yeah, he's one
like
of my
question a lot of shit. You feel me? Like where he's like, "Yo, this."
top
I
tier.
don't know. Like there's lines I could bring up. You would resonate with. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Right.
You fuck with B.o.B.
Yeah, dude. I just so funny. My friend had met him real long ago, 2019, and he posted a photo. I just seen that photo today, and I was kind of thinking to myself, like, B.o.B, like, he kind of was a conscious rapper. Like, I never fully dived deep into his music, but I do recall some of his songs being, like, way past the mainstream narrative where it's just like, fuck bitches, get money. Like, he actually had some dropping gems. Which, yo, do you respect? You probably obviously Mob Deep Prodigy.
Oh yeah.
Prodigy had a statement in one of his interviews I've always resonated with, and I feel like I kind of do that with just living life and articulate things and experience and sharing things, is mixing food with the medicine. And what he meant by that was when he wrote his rhymes, he would make bars and write rhymes and make music that would tap into the spirit of the average person. They'd be like, yo, this is fire, like this song's fire. But as you're listening to it, he would drop some medicine, which would be like some intellectual deep thoughts, some conversation to get you thinking and looking into things. So he'd be like mixing food with the medicine. Like, you're getting your food, you're just eating, you're listening to that song. But then here comes a line about Illuminati wants my mind, soul, and my body, secret society trying to keep their eye on me. That shit would make you be like, okay, what the fuck's he talking about? And then you start doing some research, and next thing you know, you're on some shit. So it's like, I always respected that. I really did, because that was some shit I was like, I gotta kind of consider that when I share things. Like, you can't just be like, here's the medicine, here's the food. You know what I mean? You kind of gotta give people a little bit more leniency or whatever type shit. Like,
yeah, gotta sweeten the medicine.
Yeah. Not everyone's on the same wavelength as me and you. Like, we met each other through 47 and some synchronicities and cool shit. So we're already on the same wavelength. So when I bring up like Gematria, conspiracy theories, we already know what's good type shit.
The term conspiracy theory is literally just hilarious to me at this point. Like,
it hurts. It's just like
me and you are conspiring right now.
Yeah, we could make up 1,000 things. So we could say, you know what I mean? But here's the thing, the fucking government has the biggest conspiracies, because the things they say are fact are the most bullshit, sketchy shit you can poke holes in. Like, you know what I'm saying?
If you actually follow rational logic, like, you have to be a conspiracy theorist to believe the shit they're saying.
Right, because if you're fucking believing their shit, you're on like their wavelength of like, trust me.
That's the real facts. Conspiracy theorists are the ones who actually believe that nonsense. Like, you have yeah.
We could go in the rabbit hole just that shit. Swear to God, 100%.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know what time we got. You got? I don't know. It's like 2 hours.
No. I'm ready to wrap it up. The only other thing I had on here was music, which we were kind of just talking about anyway.
Sick.
Any other, like, what are some of your top influences musically?
Yo, I used to listen to a lot of hardcore music when I was younger. I played the drums. I've played drums since I'm probably about 10 years old. And I used to play a lot of like heavy metal, like Despised Icon, Winds of Plague, Whitechapel, which was really, the lyrics to those songs are very negative, demonic, whatever you want to call them. So that's what I kind of grew up on, to be honest. And then around like, probably like when I was like 13 years old, I had one of my brother's older friends. He's like, dude, why do you listen to hardcore? You can't even really understand what some of those guys are screaming about. And I was like, dude, well, I like the drums, I like the guitar, I like the bass, I like the breakdowns, that's the music I resonate with. But it did click with me. Some of these times I'm listening to these songs, they're screaming so loud, I can't fucking understand a word. So I'm like, I kind of was like, all right, let me look into the rap and the hip hop scene more. So like around like 13, I found Immortal Technique, and he really opened my eyes. He put me on. Yeah, he put like, I remember even I had a class in like 7th grade where you had to like re-quote a poetry song or like a line of poetry. I did a line or like a verse from Dance with the Devil, and people were like, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm like, "Look up Immortal Technique type shit." Like, that's what I was on type shit, you know?
Yeah. Nah, that's awesome. I love Immortal Technique. The song, The Cause of Death, that's probably my favorite one by him. Or The Fourth Branch. You heard that one?
Fourth Branch is great. Fourth Branch is great, dude. No, and honestly, I can't write music like that. I try to get deep in thought.
It's crazy.
And I feel like I've got some really cool verses,
crazy.
But his
I saw him
really
live
touches.
one time. You ever seen him live? Yeah.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, nah. He's. I actually saw him with Chino XL, who recently passed. R.I.P. Chino.
Wow, what, from shooting?
No, I think he actually had cancer.
Oh shit, yeah.
He
Sometimes,
didn't like publicize it or anything, but yeah.
yeah, you'd never find out until it's like some like personal social media post about it. Because like, unless it's like a big artist, like when Quavo's friend there got shot. What the hell
Mm.
is his name? From the
Wow.
Migos.
Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
the Migos, but I don't really keep up with that. Like, have you ever heard of Locksmith?
Nope. Yep.
You would fuck with Locksmith. He's a
Post them
West
in the
Coast.
Discord for sure.
Yeah, you would fuck with Locksmith. He's I introduced him to one of my friends. He was like, "Yo, he sounds like a fucking angry pit bull, just like was able to start rhyming." Like,
DMX type shit.
yeah, but like, yeah, kind of like DMX, but with, like maybe just a hair less raspy on the voice, but
Right.
still got that same energy though, that like attacking energy,
I
aggressive.
seen Modest Yahoo live a couple times. You ever heard of
Okay.
Modest Yahoo? Yep.
Yeah, yeah. That's not
That
that's like reggae though, right?
Yeah, Jewish reggae type shit. But he does like
Got you.
rapping and the beatboxing. He's like
Okay.
crazy. He'll do his live
He has that
beatboxing.
song "King Without a Crown," right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I seen him when I was like probably like 16, and
yeah.
I didn't really understand his music then, kind of like the vibe he was on. Then I seen him again probably about a year ago or so at a show. It really hit me. I was like, damn, his music, even though I don't maybe fully believe in that culture and that religion and that aspect, his music has like some type of soul to it for sure.
Oh yeah, no.
Right.
I think music is the highest art form. Like when you start breaking down like vibrations, like vibration passing through matter and like that relationship. That's another like mini balancing act. Like the yin yang kind of
Right.
symbolizes everything, really. But it's
No,
like that.
music's super. I
It's
swear to
divine.
God, like if I
Yeah,
wasn't into like some of the music I am, I wouldn't be who I am and done the
yeah.
things I've done. And it goes for a lot of people.
It
So
literally shapes you. Like
yeah.
even the people who aren't as aware of like how important music is to them, like it shapes
Right.
them literally.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
like that, dude. I used to, when I would tell people about like I was younger, like in like high school, middle school, I'd be like, dude, you guys need to stop listening to like Lil Pump and all this shit because it's like fucking your brain up. And like
Hmm.
now it's like pretty accepted knowledge that some of that music was pretty bad for people and still is.
Right.
Like it didn't lead to nothing positive.
Right.
Like where Steve's, I have respect for the rest of my life until I'm dead because he didn't leave off on that note of like promoting that fucking bullshit. Like he really was like about
Hmm.
truth, art, creativity,
Yeah.
and being unique, like not trying to just follow the trends. Like he really was about some shit.
Hmm.
Um, so they get like, dude, going back to the 47 stuff, Steve's got me onto a lot of it though too. As much as I talked about my uncle and all those other connections, Steve's was
Hmm.
very instrumental into it. And shout out to Steve's, like dead ass, like that shit is crazy. And he
Yeah.
put a lot of people on game. To this day, kids are waking up to
Hmm.
like certain, even like the whole chakra system. Like that's a weird taboo thought process to get into. And he had mad
Right.
people getting into that shit. Like,
Hmm.
and whether
Yeah.
it's true or not, it don't matter because like that shit they weren't talking about and they weren't teaching you that shit. And there's some truth to it.
Yeah. I disagree with the part where you said it doesn't matter if it's true or not, but I think what you meant to
Mm.
say is it doesn't matter if you doubt it or not. Go
Okay,
ahead,
yeah,
because
yeah. Sometimes I don't pick my words wisely, right?
right. But it don't
Right,
matter if you doubt it, even if you doubt it, like what's true about it will still be there even after you doubt it. And all right, there might be some bullshit to it, but that's fine. Go ahead and doubt it, and the bullshit will fall off, and what's true about it will still be true, regardless of you doubting it or not.
I guess, yo, if you care, I'll spit a verse.
Yeah, go ahead.
We'll just acapella it, right?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, let's try it. Ready? Learn to count your blessings. Everything could be worse. Kids are starving for a meal, drinking water filled with dirt. Spend a day in the slums. You'll never bitch again. Instead, start thinking twice every time you sin. Said we only live in once in this realm, but most people already watch their ship sail. They're giving up hope. They're living in stress. Next thing you know, the doc is pumping me with meds. Well, fuck that. My body's all natural, only puffing on some ganja. Never smoked a cigarette, only doubles up your problems. Focused on my health or the wealth means nada. Gotta be in shape, not lazy like a llama. Less fake food, start growing lots of plants. Only bloom the water, never sprayed like a tan. Absorb more sun, time to get out and create. You never really know when you're gonna meet your fate.
All right, have you ever heard of Dizzy Wright?
Yeah, I have. Hell yeah, Dizzy Wright's cool. He's got some smoking
Yeah.
tracks I listen to.
Yeah, okay. When you were doing your thing right there, I was like, man, so I'm pretty sure Dizzy does like some stuff where like
What?
if you're on like his Patreon or like you could like take classes. I don't know. I might be speaking out my ass right here, but I think you could like get some
Spit a
instruction
verse
from
for him or
him.
something?
Or like he might teach a like helps up and coming artists with something. Like he has a program where he
What?
helps up and coming artists maybe.
Sick. I
Something
make
like that.
music
You
with
should
my
look
friends.
into it.
I ain't got no like way to produce it or record it or whatever. But yeah, I got a lot of poetry and thoughts like that. So
And
yeah.
like you're I mean this with like the utmost respect. I don't mean it in an insulting
Yo,
way at
no,
all,
I
but
need
like your
the
your like lazy style, that kind of
yeah.
like chill like weed style is
Yeah, I
like
mean it
kind
is
of
what it
fits
is,
with
right?
this. It kind of fits with like what kind of Dizzy's vibe too.
Fire.
That's why I thought of him. And he's
That's cool you
always
thought
talking
of that.
about
I fucks
smoking
with
weed.
Dizzy. I definitely listen
Yeah.
to his music. Not as hard body as maybe as other people, but I listen to his shit.
Nah, to me he's like the underground whiz.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like Wiz Khalifa that, did never really blew up to like be
Right,
what Wiz Khalifa is, but he's just like that. I mean, he's chill, he's talks about smoking weed, he's got dope beats,
right. True
like
that, dude.
kind of got that lazy
Yeah.
kind of rhymes,
No,
rhyming style.
I ain't saying I'm unique by any ways, but I feel like I have some value in my lyrics, and that's what I'm trying to portray. Like I don't got
Well,
the best flow or whatever,
I
but
think
yeah,
with anybody at your level, it's more about just doing it and
right.
then polishing it, and constantly polishing it.
True.
I'm talking shit because I've always loved music and I played piano slash keyboard as a kid, but
Love the
for
piano.
me, like when I really decided I was like never even gonna try to do music was when I was like on LSD listening to Jimi Hendrix, and I was just like, I, I could live my whole life trying to play like amazing music or create amazing beats or like write raps or whatever, and I
Hmm.
will never make anything this good. Like
Yeah, no, I feel
some
that.
people are just meant to do it, and
Right.
I just never it to me, I appreciate music and I can listen to something like Jimi Hendrix while tripping on LSD and like pick up on every little sound and
Hmm.
appreciate it so much. But it's just to me, it felt like it just doesn't feel like it's my calling to make it.
No
But
doubt, dude.
I appreciate it, and it's like I do it. I do even
Well,
though I don't make it, and I probably should because I love it
no,
so much. But I
you're
appreciate
a
it.
music connoisseur, dude. You're an intellectual.
Yeah, I love the ear. Like,
Yeah, and we probably need more of those people in this world than the artist because we get so many people trying to create and they just saturate the market or whatever. Not the market. That's a bad word, but like saturate the whole wavelength scene. Like people are all trying to do the
mm,
same shit, say the same things, do the same things. And like when we have people like you that are like, well, I don't really resonate that like with that because that wasn't what I'm feeling. We need more people that need to be true about music because I swear so many people just have their ear tuned for mainstream shit. And
mm,
like even if like yo, they're not even fully feeling it in their because when you know a song's hitting, you get goosebumps. Like I've had
yeah,
times I'm listening to Steez or like artists I really appreciate where I'm like, dude, that song
yeah.
hits so hard. No one needs to give
Locksmith.
me no drug, no alcohol, no weed, no nothing, and I
Right,
feel it. Where I
right.
don't feel like a lot of kids are getting that
Yeah.
nowadays because they're just getting the same shit repetitively given to them. Where it's like,
And the music is
here's
literally
that, here's
on a
this.
frequency that's like meant to numb their soul rather than
Right?
to like
They're not feeling
add
it.
vitality to their spirit.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, shout
yeah,
out
for sure.
Steez. Like I'll go back to that. Got me really going. Like Steez definitely like. If it wasn't
So
for him, man.
out of the whole New York rap scene, the only guys I really got into like that was Flatbush Zombies. I
Okay,
fucks
yeah,
with
still
Flatbush Zombies, Michi Darko, Zombie Juice, Eric the Architect. I fuck
no,
with
and they're
those
all
guys.
dope as hell. I don't know if you go on Twitch, but sometimes Eric does a live Twitch stream. You can chat in
Mm,
his stream, and he'd be reading comments and interacting with people. It's just like real down to earth type shit. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
like, you're never gonna see no fucking whatever doing that necessarily. You know what I mean? Like Eric's genuinely, I feel, in tune with his fans, and same with AK. It's hard when you get really big though. Like I could understand that. You got so many people fucking with you and talking to you and messaging you.
Right.
So when you see someone like that, he's still kind of reaching out to people and being cool with people. That shit, I respect it a lot because you don't get that with a lot of artists. Like even AK, I'm in his Discord. We're talking all the time and shit. He's sharing cool stuff, respecting things I do and post and whatever. You know what I mean? So that shit's dope as fuck for real.
You ever heard of the artist Ekoh? Ekoh?
No, I know the brand Ekoh with the elephant and shit. Remember that?
Yeah, no, I do remember that.
You remember that shit?
That's like ECKO, but
We're thinking different.
no, but yeah, no, this if you said you like heavier rock, like harder rock and heavier metal
I
when
still
you
do. I
first
just don't fuck with some of the lyrics they portray.
So I think you would fuck with Ekoh. He was like a white rapper. But his last album he kind of like went more like Linkin Park style with it as far as like the rocks kind of beats and stuff.
Linkin Park's fire.
But no, exactly. And not honestly, I feel like he found that niche that he's always kind of been looking for, you know?
Right. It's hard to find that
was,
niche because I'm trying to find that with my life, and it's hard. Like, you don't know what's right. And like, you get into something, you're like, I gotta switch it up. It's like, fuck.
yeah,
It's hard, man. So when someone finds
yeah.
their pocket on things, you gotta kind of respect it, even if they're not who you fully align with. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying in this world or whatever.
Dude, like Linkin Park and that sound. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it a lot, but it's never been my favorite. But his
Little
most recent
emo
album,
almost or whatever.
yeah, so I don't, yeah, but I wouldn't say it really falls in the emo
No,
category.
not exactly.
It's more on. I mean, I guess it's like hard punk, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But no, check it out. It's called Pressure, his most recent album, and like for somebody that's not really my main style of music. I've been like the last couple of weeks I've just been playing that like at least once a day, and I don't know, man. I think you would like it if you're already kind
Yeah,
of
sure,
into
man.
rock
Share it in the Discord. I don't
and
know if
heavy metal.
whoever's going to view this, how do you record this through your screen? Like capture almost if I hit record on my iPhone type shit?
Yep. It says
Cool.
Zoom. Yeah, Zoom records it for me, and they actually do like all the audio editing and everything too. So
Dope. Shout out whoever's watching this and stuck around to this point.
hell
If
yeah.
you do, fucking join my Discord or our Discord.
Yeah. I'll link all your Instagram, your Discord. I'll link
Sure.
everything in there, and
Dope, dude. Yeah, I'll
any
share
of
it
the
too with my
artists that I
followers.
talked about, I'll put in your Discord.
Sometimes I get like
Locksmith and Ekoh.
dope. Yeah, sometimes I get like 1,000 views on my story if I don't get shadow banned, and I'll shout us out. But dude, here's what I've noticed with Instagram. I don't know if you have. If I make a story post, if I only make one post to the story, I get way more viewers than if I make 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7 story posts. I don't know what's up with that. It's just something I personally noticed. But
yeah, I've noticed stuff like
yeah,
that too. Weird
right.
stuff like that. Yeah.
So like I could tag us and say I made like 2 more posts after it. You might only get like 100 viewers. But if I only do just whatever it is, we might potentially get 1,000 viewers. Dude, I've had so many weird people. Dude, I remember when David Blaine did a stunt. He went like certain meters up in the air. He was 47 years old. His name in Gematria in the purest cipher equals 47, and he went 4.7 meters up in like his weirdest stunt, whatever it was, and the balloon had 47 on it too. So I made like a post about it. He's seen that shit. He's seen like the Gematria breakdown. He's seen, you know what I mean? That shit was cool as fuck. I was like, some people are viewing my shit, so I appreciate that shit. That's dope.
No, that's awesome.
Right?
That reminds me of the B.o.B lyric. He said even David Blaine had to come and take some classes.
Let's go then. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. You even had a David Blaine bar, bro.
No, yeah, dude.
I used to watch his show when I was younger, so like to see him view my shit was like cool, you know?
I bet. I bet. Look, you got anything else, man? Because this has already been awesome. I'm gonna wrap it up unless you got any more gems to drop.
Yeah, so much I could say. I feel like sometimes I maybe have overtalked you in this. I'm sorry if I did.
That's my biggest criticism of myself when I go back to edit these videos or when I watch my own like podcast. I'm like, man, I should have just shut the fuck up right there and let him go.
Nah, dude, it's cool. I appreciate you even letting me have this opportunity because no one really has given me this opportunity to kind of talk with like a potential podcast that goes on the internet, whatever type shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been like
Yeah.
weird, like around people that do that shit, but never been on the podcast type shit. You know what I'm saying? So like they will be on this, even if we only get 10 viewers, I don't give a fuck. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
it's the
saying?
same
Like
with,
that's just
that's my mindset too.
lock in with them 10 viewers, bro.
Yeah,
Type shit, you know?
exactly.
So
Exactly. But the
yeah,
one
no,
thing
I
that you
bet there's
said,
shit I could bring up, but we'd be here till literally the next day, dude. I'd
for
just
real.
keep talking. Like I'm that
Same.
type person. Yeah, so
Same. You did bring up earlier though, the next time we do it, we should do it about cannabis, and I would be totally down. That's my whole life. Like that's my fucking 9 to 5. Then I come home, I'm trimming shit that I've harvested this past year, or I'm like thinking
bro,
about getting my garden straight for this coming
yep.
season, or
So
like
let's
cannabis
go,
is really like I feel like I've merged. Like my whole spirit is like with cannabis.
bro. I'm on the same fucking wavelength. I'm down. We should set up a date where we do that shit. Cause like I'll show like a lot of the glass art I have, and we can get
Nice.
into more even discussion with that stuff, and that'd be fun. Swear to
Nice.
God, yeah.
I'm gonna read up on my Chris Bennett so I can actually talk a little bit more on like the historical
Cool.
dimension of cannabis and the humanity's relationship to it over the last 10,000 years or so.
I pulled
But
his
yeah,
name up on my other phone, so I got him.
yeah, dope shit. I'll send you a podcast the one where I discovered him. The dude is
Yeah. Oh, shout
if
out
you're
to
into cannabis,
Strain Hunters. You watch Strain Hunters ever?
nah,
Dude, you never watch the Strain Hunters. They just travel and try to find rare land race strains around the world. So something that's grown in that country for like whatever
right,
thousands of years, they go into
right,
that country and they try to cultivate. Yeah, yeah. I'll show you that shit too. You'd fuck with them a lot.
for sure,
And I swear
for
to
sure.
God, the main guy that ran that shit, Franco, R.I.P. Franco, and his other homie that started Strain Hunters. Franco died at 47. R.I.P. Franco. I remember
Damn,
making a post about it. Yeah. Yeah.
that's wild.
47's pretty young, dog. How old are
That
you?
is. I'm 35.
Cool. I'm 28. We
Yeah.
still got. I'm looking at you. You got 98 in you, dog.
Man, I try to like I don't know. I'm a super out of the box thinker, but like
All right.
I'm trying to make 200, bro.
All right. Yeah. Let's go. As long as it's not that. As long as it's not that AI chip they put you on and they put you in another body, I'm cool with it. If you're
Yeah, they
authentic
but
200,
the thing is like they might already have it in me, man.
right?
I gotta tell you real quick, like, because I don't want this to go on too much longer, but I had my feet run
Right.
over by a forklift back in
Damn.
2012. Yeah, I was 50-50 to walk again, man. And
Bro, I
like,
didn't know this about you at all. You never shared this or talked about this.
nah, yeah, so I was 50-50 to walk again, and it was quite the rehab. But yeah, my left big toe, well, it ran right over top of my right foot, which was a totally different injury because it like broke everything in my right foot, but it didn't break any skin because it like went directly over top of it.
But it still
But it
fucked you up.
fucked up the right, I mean, both feet fucked up, but the two
Oh
totally different
my God,
injuries
bro.
because it was just like right over top of my right foot, but then it just clipped my left big toe. So like the angle that it hit my toe on my left big toe on my left foot, it like broke the skin and blood was gushing and everything. So they had to like partially amputate my toe. And when they put it back together, like
Dog.
it sounds like a crazy trippy thought, but sometimes I feel like they put some shit in there for real.
Yo, I'm not. You're not far off, dude. No, they probably put some fucking robot shit in you, man.
Yeah, they could have. You never know. Like they in the paper that they make you sign, like, um, yeah, every second that passes by increases the chances of you never walking again. Oh, but by the way, we have to have you sign this waiver before we can actually do the surgery. It's like 4 pages. It's like they
You're
could have
like
just put
signing
anything
fucking
in
shit.
there. Yeah, like yeah, we are allowed to track you for the rest of your life and blah
Right,
blah blah.
type
I
shit.
don't know. Yeah, I didn't read it.
My buddy got in a
But
car
if I didn't
accident.
sign it, then might not walk again. So quite the
Yeah.
fucking situation they had me in.
No, they got you, dude. They fucking got. Same when you get them metal fillers in your teeth.
Mm.
They fucking filled you with some shit you didn't. They got some metal fucking shit in your teeth. It's like you're reading radio frequencies now or something. Like,
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, I mean, if I already got the chip in there, then why not go ahead and go to 200, right?
right? Yeah, no, you got it in you. I said 98, bro. You're saying 200. Either way, that's pretty
I think
legit.
our generation is gonna break break through the limitations that are really arbitrary. It's our faith that it's the only reason that human beings have a life expectancy of 80 years or 100 years or whatever is because of our collective belief in that. And like, once we realize how powerful our belief is, I think we could go back to the days of the Egyptian kings living 20,000 years,
Right. Dude, that's another thing we'll get into more. I'll get more into the ancient history and the ancient coins and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, this
And we'll
has been
do
a
more
blessing and a
cannabis talk.
pleasure and an honor. Peace out, Noah.
Yeah, peace out, bro. It's cool talking with you, man. We'll do this again.
Hell yeah.
I got that. Yeah, heard them call me conscious. I ain't think about it honestly. My thoughts too deep to process, so I do this all unconsciously. Finally feeling God bless. Got 'em woke up dropping prophecy. Don't take it out of context. Just before, I swear they always sleep. Now they catch the message, yeah. Bet that every song is deep. It's levels in each concept, but I can't just never mono theme. I'm trying to lead this flock for the cause, not the following. People upon a partner, and I wonder why they drawn to me. Once upon a time, I thought to follow up a dream. Draw life about these lines, nothing twice about these schemes, and like thrice about these insights. What I write is like a blueprint for you to comprehend life. That's light, I reckon, make you shine. Never dim it down, even if you live surrounded where everybody vision clouded. Remember, staying down ain't quite as good as getting out. It said, remember, staying down ain't quite as, ay. If you believe, yeah. Many doubted it was hard for them to think. Somehow I'm finally getting out of that's it. Usually, yeah, they vision clouded, but as you can see by now, we finally getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I know I'm getting out there, writing truth, spreading love. Tell me how you feel about it. Got this music from above, this how I